Full of laughs, full of smile. Everybody, welcome to Music Mondays, okay, on Platform the Podcast. Today, for music, I can't think of a better person to have. A hometown success story, all right? Somebody from Norwalk who took a leap of faith, believed in himself, believed in his passion, and became the senior VP of Warner Records. Guys, help me welcome Ron Stewart, aka Stu, aka Skull Daddy, to the people from Norwalk.
That's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
welcome,
Welcome. I'm here. I'm happy to
welcome,
be here.
welcome. Yeah, man, I'm happy to have you here, and I can't wait to, so for people to understand that, you didn't just jump into this position.
That's right.
It was a grind. So
Right.
let's just start from the beginning. For people don't know, but they see the position, but they don't know the journey. How does a man like yourself from Norwalk get to become the senior VP of Warner Records? That's a big deal.
I mean, for me, it was really about chasing a dream. Um, let's just bring it all the way back. I mean, music's been in the household from the very beginning, from pops with the 45s, Joe Tex and James Brown, and the moms and them had the vinyl early on. Her and her sisters. My mom got 12 brothers and sisters, and all the ladies in the family, we would go to their house and they would be playing certain things. So music's always just been in the vein, right? But what happened was, as I grew older and starting from like Fox Run and shout to Vidal, we used to beatbox on the bus going to school. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
it was just always, music was always was just part of the soundtrack to life, right? And as I got older, I see all the older cats going to New York, buying their clothes, going to Delancey Street, being fresh. Um, you know, some of my peoples on Lincoln Avenue, Tone Buchanan, shot the jungle. He would his cousins would come down from New York with like the cassette tapes of Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing Raw live when they was just we didn't get those. We could hear it a little bit, but we didn't get those tapes, so they would come down to here. So I just always just became a fan of the music, and so for me, it was just when was that opportunity kind of present itself for me to take advantage of it. I'm gonna tell you a real story. Remember back in the day when you used to throw the parties and you used to hire Fat Man Scoop to
Yes.
come down. Rest in peace, Fat Man
Rest
Scoop.
in peace. Yep.
And Fat Man Scoop would do this routine after each after every time he would come there and host, he would wait at the door and like greet everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank y'all for coming. Boom. Thank y'all for coming. He wouldn't just get the money and go.
Right.
And so one night I'm there hanging out because I knew you. Obviously I knew you, and so everybody's leaving out. I didn't just leave with everybody else. I would just kind of hang out, hang around, and Fat Man Scoop was there. We just started talking. And
Mm-hmm.
second time he came, we started talking even a little bit more. And he was just like, "Yo, man," we started talking about music. He was just like, "Yo, bro, you should go and do an internship." And I was like, "You think?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "But don't go to like Def Jam or like where everybody else is gonna go. Go somewhere else where you can kind of stand out."
Mm-hmm.
And so that really kind of put the bug on my ear, like, "Yo, let me
Mm.
try this out and figure it out." Now it didn't happen to about a year and a half later. To a friend of mine invited me, an old college roommate, invited me to come to the city for lunch, and he convinced me. He's like, "Yo, Ron, you should come out here and really get this music thing a shot." And I started to look at my SkyTel page at the time and see what labels was in the area, because I think we were on like 16th Street because he was going to the new school,
Mm-hmm.
and the closest label was Jive. So I walked up to Jive and kind of like cold sold it rather, and was
Mm-hmm.
just like, "Hey, look, I'm delivering my resume. Could I get an internship?" And you know, She was like, "I'll call you back." Call me back maybe like 3 or 4 months later, asked if I wanted to start, and it was, that's
I
pretty much how I got
remember.
started.
I remember. And you know what's dope that you bring up Fat Man Scoop because I remember when we used to have people like you said down here, mainstream artists. The only person that because I couldn't be in a limo, the only person that I knew who could handle it was you.
That's right.
You remember that?
That's right.
Because I knew you wasn't gonna be starstruck. I
Yep.
knew you had some sense. I knew you had conversation, and you had a passion for music. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? And then not only that, but me, you, Haku,
That's right.
that's Jay Rogers and Dolo used to
That's
sit in
right.
my backyard on Adamson Avenue and
That's right.
plot and have meetings like
Have
about the
meetings.
music.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? So to see you coming from the backyard, from the Roxy or the Globe, whatever the name of the club was, because it went through so many names. You
Everybody used to
know,
come by the Globe. Ludacris,
Little Kim,
Nori, Lil Kim, CNN,
yes, Mob
Mob
Deep,
Deep. Oh,
yeah,
come on, y'all! Like
yep.
everybody would come by there, and I never forget. I never forget. Luda came down in a stretch limo, and he had it was like it must have been like 15 people stuffed in the limo smoking, and we were so many people inside the limo that the limo tire the tire burst in the back. and Luda and Luda made the driver get out and fix the flat while we still inside smoking. Like that shit was hilarious, yo. To this day, I always wanted to tell Luda that story if I ever see it, but that was the funniest shit ever.
Oh
But
man, that's
like,
crazy. I wish I would have known that because before Dolo passed, we actually did something for Luda. He was having a meeting with Google. You
huh?
know, some kind of meeting with it was a bunch of billionaires in a room and I remember this was on Biggie's birthday. It was March 9th cuz I remember, me knowing the date and Dolo and I going down there singing. We were singing Omar Wilson's song. I never no. I always knew it happened
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day. Like
yeah,
we singing that. I
yeah,
mean, getting
yeah,
busy singing it. But I wish I knew that story because
yeah.
then afterwards, after Dolo passed, me and BK we linked up with his manager slash business partner Sandy Lau. So we would always go to Sandy's parties, and
Sandy's
it's
birthday
always
parties in the city.
Sandy's birthday parties, and it's always us and Ludacris. And
Yeah.
it's been just us and Ludacris having dinner. While everybody out there partying.
Hmm.
But if I knew that story, just to take them back and tie
Yep.
it all in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to
dope though.
Roxy.
Yeah, that's dope.
Shout out to the Roxy.
Yeah, so so I know that when I first met you, I met you through Dolo, rest his soul. I love my baby.
Uh huh.
You were in college, like when I first met you,
Uh
met
huh.
you. We may have met at Mount Zion
That's
earlier
right.
on,
Uh huh.
but you were in college and he used to go to college and visit you and all that other stuff. When you came home, you was a probation officer or
So,
something.
so what happened was when I went to Southern, right? This is when like the college boom was really starting to kind of like hit big out here, at least. People were going, but there weren't a lot of people going. So all I remember was seeing. I was deciding where to go because it was like a group of us. There's probably like 20 of us, young black kids, trying to figure it out. And most people went out of state. And a few of us stayed in state because the out of state tuition was like, almost like triple. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I applied to a lot of schools. I applied to um, Howard, Dell State, and I didn't get accepted into those programs until super late. I got accepted at Howard later,
Hmm.
late, but I had already um, got accepted to Southern and then to join their summer program, SCOP. So I was just like, you know what? Staying in state, the tuition was probably, I think then it was like 6 grand a year or something like that. And I never forgot, I spoke to my pops about it. He was like, listen, you can go wherever you want to go, man. I'm gonna fill out these papers for financial aid, but you got 3 years, and you're gonna have to pay your last year on your own. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got for you. Um, so I decided I went to the summer program, end up making good friends out there in New Haven. Love the city of New Haven, big city, a lot of culture, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just stay here. So that's how I got to Southern. So when I did Southern, and when I graduated and I left, I'm just jumping around a little bit.
Okay.
So when I came back to Connecticut, I worked at a company called ForSure.com, and they were a technology company. So
I remember for
um,
sure.
yeah, it was a lot of us that was working there. I met a lot of we used to have a ball in there. A lot of us, some So my people from Bridgeport, Stanford, we all was in there in the call center, taking these calls, selling computers, selling everything you name it, wires, laptops, printers, ink, whatever it was, and so I ended up getting, I kind of outgrew the job. I knew I really didn't wasn't in school all that long to be doing that, and so I ended up getting fired there. And so I was like, all right, so what do I do now? So I decided to do an internship at um, Office of Adult Probation.
Okay.
So that's how I got in there. So I did that so the play there was like, okay, I'll do that for 20 years and retire and be good at home until I had that meeting with a friend of mine. And that's when I was like, okay, well, that'll be the plan B. I'm going to go out here, I'm going to get an internship. If it works out, cool. If it doesn't, I'll come back and be a juvenile probation officer because I was just seeing how things were shifting in the community as far as like the spotlight on the kids, and they're taking away a lot of the youth programs
Mm-hmm.
and youth sports in school and things like that. So I was seeing a lot of our kids kind of like being misled. So I figured I can come back and help and kind of give back that way, but only if the internship doesn't work.
Okay.
So I did that, and um, actually, so after probation, then I end up actually getting a job at AIC.
Okay.
Right. So I
All
did
right.
that. That was the alternative incarceration program. So I did that for like a year, getting like 20 grand a year. So that was just cool. Just again, just first gig out of college, and I was like, all right, this
Right.
ain't this was cool. It was a nice little stepping stone, but
It wasn't for you.
I was just dreaming a lot bigger. So,
Right.
but
Right.
I got
Right.
the internship, and once I got the internship, I just was taking the train back and forth from New York from here,
I
two
remember that
times a
for a
week.
stipend
For
only.
nah, it wasn't even. Yeah, it was literally they were paying for my train ticket,
Yeah.
literally. And some of the guys there would just buy me lunch. Shout out to Jeff Sledge. He was he would always, he was the fly one of the fly executives there at the time. So he would come in and let me get the invites to the parties that he couldn't go to. So I'll go in there and and be right back on that train back to Connecticut at like 12:30, really the 120 train, and be right back out at 8 in the
So you
morning.
quit the probation. I remember seeing you. You remember I seeing you on your lunch break one
Yeah,
time at Stu
yeah,
Leonard's in your
yeah,
suit.
yeah,
We were snickering a little
yeah.
bit,
Because the probation
but
was
I
an
loved it.
internship, so
Yeah.
the AIC is where I really was wearing like I had to like the jacket and the button up because I was had to go to the court and be like okay, so it was your first offense if they were recommending you, let's say if they were recommending your first offense, you had to go do community service. So I just had to document that you did it, or
Right.
got it done. So I would kind of come in there. They'll call your case up and be like, "Oh, Mr. Stewart, did he paperwork?" I just go hand it over. Yeah, he's in compliance, and
Yeah.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know what I mean. So again, it was cool, but you know, like I said, after a while, I was just like, "All right, this was, you know."
So what made you quit all that and really bet on yourself? Like you knew that like this isn't
I
for
mean,
me.
listen, I was always a student of the game. Like I said, I always loved music. I was a really big fan of the artists locally. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You couldn't tell me nobody was better than Dolo. You just couldn't tell me that. You couldn't tell me no one was better than Jupiter when I first heard Jupe. Shout
Hmm.
out to Jupe.
Hmm.
Psych,
Oh
Ricky
yes,
Dada, like these guys, Smack. You know what I'm saying?
they were
All
all
of those
fire.
guys, you couldn't tell me we didn't have just a group of individuals that could compete. And so in my mind, I was always asking myself, what's missing? Like, why can't we push forward? Right. So then I thought to myself, well, there needs to be an executive amongst the people with the talent.
Hmm.
So I would go places and try to um, I would book studio time and try to like try to keep them focused on like the music because they'll go for it and they'll go for maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and if it don't happen, they're like we on to the next or real life starts to happen.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was still try to push them, be like, nah, let's do this. Like 50 Cent numbers out, you're already doing freestyles over other people beats. Let's do freestyles, y'all. I'm telling you, it could work. Fifth of them is doing it, like, yo, let's do that. So some people got it, some people didn't, you know what I'm saying? But we would try it again and just but I just never gave up. You know what I'm saying? If that
Yeah.
makes sense. So it was really about not giving up. So
Absolutely.
so I,
Absolutely.
and yeah.
Which is dope. So when you look back now, what did those days of struggling of interning, like what did that how does that play a part on your work ethics now? Because you know it's You didn't have any finances coming in. You're not in the streets, and that's what's so dope about you. You weren't in the streets, so it wasn't like you were hustling over here, and
Yeah.
then in the morning you'll
Hmm.
go to jive and come back. That's not what you were doing. You literally were just doing this for a stipend, and like you said, your people buying you lunch out there, and and whatever family support you may have had. But you understand what I mean? Like, what did that do for you now for the SVP of Warner Records?
It was discipline. You know what I'm saying? It was really, to be an intern, you really have to humble yourself. Especially, I remember I did that at 24.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come in like right out of college and went an intern at 18. You know what I mean? Or
Right,
20. I
right,
did it at like I had got out of college, already had a job or two,
right.
and then decided to go back and was like, yo, I'm just gonna intern for free. And I remember my mom thought I was crazy. She was like, "You gonna go somewhere? You gonna down in my house? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you talk about? Like, you,
Right.
you ain't bringing no money in? Nah, you got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? So she
Mm-hmm.
was like, all right, I'm gonna give you a year, and then from there after that, you're gonna have to figure it out. But that's all I really needed. You know what I'm saying? So, but nah, it was really just discipline because I'm going there. I'm first one in, last one to leave. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting people's coffee. I'm running the errands. I'm picking things up. Um, taking notes. And then at Jive, I was able to go from department to department. So I was in the marketing department. Then I went over to promotion. Promotion seemed just a lot more fun because they were out in the clubs every night, meeting the DJs and delivering the records, getting the records played, managing the street team.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first got over there, I had a better liking of promotion. I was like, that's where I kind of want to be. I want to be the one to be able to go and break the record.
Okay.
I want to be the one that. So again, this all was like because if I could do it, then I could bring it back and and now I could break Dolo. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Once if
Right.
I could learn it. But then what I didn't realize is that from vinyl it went to CD. From CDs it went to the Napster era, and the
I
game
remember
just kept
Napster.
evolving and kind of changing where you just had to adjust and kind of keep up. And it was always kind of like starting over again. It's
Okay.
just tough. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's definitely tough when you're aging in the game. So if you're an artist, you get completely like, you know, I don't know if this is gonna work. This ain't really it. You know what I mean? This ain't for me.
Right.
Maybe it's not. You know what I mean? Maybe the dream ain't real.
Did you feel that about yourself ever?
I did not, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I always felt like um, too many people were saying that you deserve to be here. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? I believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen to these records. Tell me what you think.
Mm.
Um, you think this is a hit? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got
Asking
this
your
record from such
opinion.
and such. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and then the artist started to really. I started to really develop a relationship with the artist. You know, Sean Paul from the Young Bloods and uh, Pimp C, rest in peace, from UGK, and who else? Sierra, and then it was Chris Brown and Tina Davis and
K. Michelle.
K Michelle. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
You know, you know,
Nipsey also.
Nipsey. That's later on, but just in
Right.
those beginning stages, that was just super important because I was still just a youngin trying to learn the game. Noontime down in Atlanta, just another executive, and this is when Lil Jon is on fire, and
Okay.
those guys in the South is just killing it. But those executives were really like, extending the olive branch. Like, hey, whatever you need, here's my number. Call me if you need anything, and I will call, and they would pick up
Oh,
just to
nice.
give me
Okay.
advice.
I was gonna ask,
Still
did
to
you
this day.
call? So what did you say? Like, where, like, what space were you in when when you said, what? Let me make this phone call.
Well, it was tough because at that time I'm managing. So when I first got the job, the first thing I got was a piece of paper from my man Tone Capone, Eric Parler. Shout to those guys. They gave me one sheet of paper with like 30 names on it, and they were the key point person in every major city,
Okay.
from Philly, DC, Baltimore, Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, Charlotte, Chicago, Detroit, and so those were the street team guys. So I would call those guys and be like, "What's going on in the city? Who's the hot DJ? who's a hot artist. So they would just give me all the what's the fly barbershop, what's the lifestyle moments like. So
Okay.
I had all those relationships first.
All right.
And then they would introduce me to the sweets and the dolos and in
Okay.
their markets. And that's kind of how I started to develop mine.
So what all labels now? I remember labels, but I'll let you run them down. I remember going to a little tiny office. Then I watched the offices get progressively bigger and bigger. Like I seen the first little tiny spot you were in, and it had brick in the back. You had a little brick wall
That's
in the
right.
corner. I think that was at Jive,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Yeah. So what labels were you at? So it started at Jive, and
Started
then
at Jive,
Mhm.
interned, then I got an assistant job. And then from there, my man Memphis Hits got a joint venture with his community because he brought in T Pain and Huey, Pop Lock and Drop It. So they gave him his own little JV. So then he brought me over there. He was like the first one to give me um, a good check for coming over there. I was only there for maybe about a year and a half, and then I went to Interscope at the tail end of that run with like Eminem, the Recovery album, and they had a young kid group named Mindless Behavior. They had Keisha Cole toward the end. Um, so that was a good experience just to kind of see how they were. They were a West Coast based company. And then from there, I went to, where did I go from there? Oh, it was Sony Red at the time. So then from there, I had got laid off at Interscope. I was in DC, and never forget I got the call. I got laid off. They were going in a different direction. New regime was coming in, and a friend of mine, I never forget. I was home. I was back in Brooklyn. I was like, "Oh, it's over, man. I don't know what to do." And my man called me. My man Rich Dollars at the time. He called me. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing, fam?" I'm like, "Yo, I ain't seen you in about a week. We can hire." I said, "Yeah, I'm at the crib." He's like, "Yo, come outside." You talking about how somebody gonna hire you if you ain't outside? They gotta see you. I'm like, "All right, man." So we end up hanging out like that night. And then I ended up seeing Jay Grand in passing. He was like, "Hey Ron, you know what? I got a spot for you at Sony Red. Here's the number. It's non-negotiable. Just take it, get back in the game, and we'll talk about it later." They called me. Jay Grand got me at Sony Red. I was there for a year, and my guy that I was working with at Interscope, Mar Brown, rest in peace to Mar. He then calls me. He's like, "Ron, listen, I'm at Interscope. I need a New York counterpart. You be my New York guy."
Okay.
Since we was already rocking before. No, he said, "I'm going over to Warner Records, right? Warner Brothers at the time." He said, "You be my New York guy, and I'll stay in LA, and we rock like that." So that's how I got to Warner. As soon as I got there, it was MMG, it was Wale, it was Meek, it was Omarion, and the whole run started. And it
I
was just
remember all those.
cruise control.
Yeah, I remember. You know what's so dope about you too is that you always kept us, and still keep me, but you always kept us in the loop. When you said Rich Dollars, I remember it was me, you, Rich Dollars, and somebody else. I don't remember where we were. And this is before Love and Hip Hop. You was like, "This my man Rich, this is Sweets." And I can't remember who else, but I could remember us walking. We were walking somewhere. I don't know where we
Yeah,
were
that's my
going.
man Nomad. Nomad is out there. He's taking pictures for the New York Knicks now. Me and him, we still chop it up.
Okay.
My man King Smiz, Smiz McBee, he was a mixtape DJ. He used to do the fire blend CDs and just like the classic best ofs. He still got a best of Jay Z called Jay Z Sings the Blues. That's a classic mixtape. So shout to Smiz. But yeah, because to me it was like I wanted my people to enjoy the fruits of the labor.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And so that's why I don't know if you remember when I was at Jive, I would be like when I was at Hits, I'd be like, "Yo, Dolo, come intern."
Yeah.
Just to come up. It was
Yeah,
like
I
literally
remember.
just to like get out of Norwalk and just come
Oh, I
enjoy and see what
remember.
I'm doing. You know
I
what I'm saying?
remember we were in Vegas for PJ's 21st birthday, and I wanted to choke Dolo because he had the label or the you sent him all the K Michelle stuff, and we in Vegas, and he walking around with a case of damn CDs. So PJ is like, "Dolo, just leave him in for right now." Dolo's gonna promote. He's always gonna
Nah,
promote. I wanted to choke him. I'm like,
nah,
"You can't leave these CDs." Every time we walked out that hotel room, your boy had those.
nah,
He had those CDs with him.
nah.
Talking about a package here for John Reagan coming from
Just go, right?
yeah.
Mail it to the hotel room.
Yeah, I'm like, what? come on, man. I want to acknowledge that Joe Man is online. It was a few people that's online.
Which
Joe
Joe man?
Man,
Snap?
Snap.
My brother.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Ron Stew. Look at the TV right
Yo,
there.
Snapper Joe.
Yeah. There was somebody else too. Hey Mel, Ron, so proud of you, my brother. That's Larry
First of all,
Langhorne.
Larry Langhorne. By the
Yeah.
way, hats off to Larry Langhorne. Just a true mentor, especially early on in my career working at AIC. Man, this guy would really let me know how this game works corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And you know I needed that at the time. So definitely always appreciate Larry Langhorne.
Yeah,
and
he's
system.
always been good. Since the Carver days. He had
Larry
us
was
all.
nice and hoop too. I wonder if he still got it.
Yeah. Well, Larry, do you still have it? So you worked with a lot of our favorite artists that we know.
I have.
That we love. What separates those who lasted in the game, artist wise, to those that are one hit wonders?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's real simple. The majority of them had a great management team. I've seen great artists with a terrible team come and go. I've seen it all, but the ones that really lasted the test of time, Chris Brown,
Mm-hmm.
T Pain, Cardi B, man, like Sierra at the time, and a good marketing person.
Okay.
I think that's the part people really don't. They fail to realize that when you at a label and you got to rally the troops. The A&R signs the records. The promotion people gets excited about the A&R because the A&R guy normally comes over to the promo people and be like, yo, this is brand new Sweets. Yo, I'm telling you, she's amazing. Ron, she's next up. I'm telling you, yo, this is the one. But the marketing person has to be the one that really keep everybody together
Mm-hmm.
and really understand the artist's vision and then their vision of what the artist should be, right? And really execute that vision. See, with promotion, it's like a lot of people want the flame and the fire, but nobody wants the spark.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
So the promotion person is the one that creates the spark,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we got to create the spark to then come back and be like, hey, this Chris Brown kid is amazing.
Right.
Show you why. Yo, K Michelle, like Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what I'm saying? I get people that come up to me to this day. Yo, Ron, I remember you gave me this Miguel CD when Mark pitched first time Miguel when I was still over at Jive. It's just like, so you see that early on. Like Chris Brown is in a mirror dancing for like 6-7 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying to you? Like every day.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Off of 2 Red Bulls, going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you saw, I mean, he's running on the treadmill, running Central Park, singing.
Yeah.
It's like when people always talk about Kobe and the things he did in the off season and how it applies to him being as great as he is. Chris did a lot of that.
Okay.
The little things, you know what I'm saying? He had a great team. Shout out to Tim, who really was there early on in my days, and Tina, and listen. And by the way, see the management team, especially with a lot of ones that I mentioned, they allowed us, the younger guys, to move the artists around.
Okay.
Sometimes some people gatekeep. Sorry, Sweets, you can't get over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Only talk to this person.
Right. Right.
But Tina was one of the few that was like, y'all want to bring Chris to the Rucker? Go ahead, take him.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want to bring him to Harlem? Yeah, go ahead, do it. Oh, we want to do no problem. You know what I mean? So she allowed us. And then what happens is, you got the artists. The artists keep you hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Cash, remember, like, it helps build up your reputation. And, you come to the club, and, you're giving out CDs. Now you walking in 2-3 weeks in a row. Let him through. He good. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that shit goes a long way. So, but to me, to answer your question, just to bring it all the way back, it's really about having a solid team first. You know what I mean?
How important? Tell the people how important marketing is, because I say this all the time. McDonald's wouldn't still make commercials if marketing wasn't important. They have a big marketing budget, but people, they want, especially local. They don't really want to put the money in marketing. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But some people who get it, they get it. But a lot of people don't understand how important marketing really is.
It's just the marketing for us early on was guerrilla marketing, and that's changed now because we don't have the poster boards. Everything is digital. You know what I'm saying? So it's everything is on the phone. You know what I'm saying? And it works for some, but it doesn't work for most.
Okay.
You get
Why
me?
not? Yeah, why not?
Because some people aren't. You're a people person. Sweet, you're outgoing.
Hmm.
I could bring you around anybody, leave, and be comfortable with knowing that you're gonna hold your own. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the contact and move on. But everyone's not like that. Some people are introverts. That's just
Right.
not their thing.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? I can't expect you to go trend on TikTok. Every artist, I can't expect them to do that. I think that's just an unfair um, situation to put any artist in these days, right? But you may very well be dope. You might be a great singer. But if you're not active on the social media thing, then it's proven that it's a longer it just takes a little longer for you to really connect the dots. You know what I'm saying? And the algorithm is just you call it what you want. You see what you see. You know, I could say f everybody in Norwalk, and that'll go viral. Before I say, by the way, Sweet's got a dope record out.
Hmm.
Y'all need to check for Sweets. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So the marketing is just different now. I mean, it was guerrilla marketing then, but that's what we did as a culture. Like we was out here moving around,
Right.
putting these poster boards up, having the word of mouth. In college we had the pictures on the poster board. We had Lil Kim on our wall at in college. So it was like we don't have no more of that. So there's no to me, there's really no connection like it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
You know
So
what I tell BK? I tell BK this story. So this was at a party. I almost think it was your going away party. It may not have been when you were going to Chicago. But J. Cole was in the beginning, but he was at this party hanging posters up. BK, right? I tell
Yeah.
you about J. Cole the beginning. Was
Hmm.
that your party?
no, it was at a party we were at.
Or we were at the party?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I tell him about that so many times that because he like J. Cole's fire, when he's like, I think, was he your favorite artist? Or
Yeah, for a little bit.
And I'm like, I
Definitely.
remember when he was hanging posters up in the party.
Hmm. That's funny. You tell me a bunch of stories, people that you've crossed paths with.
Yeah.
Young Eminem and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was in wetlands. We were
Yeah.
doing
Wetlands.
yeah. But let me tell you, that doggone Dolo. So it was me, Dolo, and Gabe. And Dolo had his CD, but made his cassette tape cover, but made
Yeah.
badges out of them. So he had the badges to get in wetlands. So me and GAB, we just, we walked
Yeah.
away from him. And he like, yo, chosen few, come on. He had to- so then, before I know it,
Like, yeah. Like we
Dolo's
supposed to
on
be
the
here.
stage, yeah. Dolo's on the stage, and so we were trying to read the white dude's jacket. We like Eminem, Eminem, Eminem. So he got, this is the first time we ever seen Eminem. It was at Wetlands. So then the next thing I know, me and GAB somewhere, and we listening. We like, yo, is that Dolo? We look on stage, Dolo's on the mic, chosen few to the stage. So I wound up doing something that night too, and Gabe never forgot it because he said I had on a
You was
mink
rapping?
that night. Yeah, I was rapping. He gave me the mic, and you already know. Come on, you already
the
know how I was
trendsetter?
giving it up. The
No one could do,
trendsetter.
no one could do it better.
That's right. The go-getter.
The go-getter?
The trendsetter, the go-getter. Shoot, no one could do it better,
Yo.
But GAB was like, yo, Sweets, when you took that mink off and it fell and it curled up on the floor, he
Yeah.
says that to this day about that. But yeah, young Eminem, that was one of them. So many of them. But so when you hear an artist, though, what makes you say, you know what, or see an artist, what makes you say, now they got something right there. Now hold on. What make you give them a double look or a double listen or
Nowadays?
right now?
I mean, nowadays it's because I guess now I'm in a space where I'm at a label where we're really developing newer acts, and when you go from working the Meek, the Nipseys, the Cardi, the Gucci's of the world to then the A Boogies, the MC, the Lil Uzi Verts, the early Jack Harlow, the Kodak Blacks, and then you go from that to now. Every artist you have is developing, meaning that they just got signed. The label, that's what we hang our hat on now. It's like, but we realize it takes time.
Hmm.
So for me nowadays, when I'm looking at an artist, it's just more so, can I see the vision of what you could become in 2 years? Now the only problem with that is we're in the game now where some of these artists may only want to be in it for a single or two. It's not about 2 or 3 albums, and that's what I come from that.
So
You
why
know,
do you think that?
it's
Like they
just
just
they hit pay dirt. They got 2 or 3 million in their bank account and they cool.
okay,
Like you know what I'm saying? Like no, that's what you guys want to do. That's not what we want to do.
right?
And once I realized with the younger artists, once I realized that um, the visions is different, right?
Hmm.
I had to just be a little more like, okay, well, and then you really don't know what's gonna catch because you could, like I said, you could love something now, and it literally could just be something that I'm playing on my playlist right now, and nobody knows, or the algorithm hasn't kicked in for said artist just yet, right? So it's just it's it's just tough nowadays. Now I want to see the versatility. Can you make the records for the females? Can you make a record with an R&B hook? Can you make a record that's vulnerable? Talk about your relationship with your mom. Can you just really kind of like stretch it all the way? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Across and really be that versatile as an artist
Hmm.
is what I kind of like and look for. But I like shit talking. I like braggadocious. I like all of that for
Hmm.
sure.
Hmm.
But I just think in this day and age, we just have to be able to like scale is the perfect word for
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
Can do you have the potential and the ability and the energy to scale? Are you gonna put time and effort into your show, right? Because again, yo, Ron, come manage me. Yo, you should manage. Okay, but how am I gonna get my money back,
Hello.
right? If
Right.
you don't, I'm putting all
If
this
I don't
money out,
have anything
studio
to
out.
manage.
I know how I can for sure get my money back if you got a killer show. If somebody
Hmm.
says open up for somebody, and you go out there and go crazy
Right.
for 2.5 minutes, and you leave it all on the floor. I never forget I was on a panel with Matthew Knowles in Raleigh years ago, and I was just happy to be in the room. And somebody asked him. They said, how did you know Destiny's Child was ready,
Hmm.
was ready to go as an artist? He said, oh, it was simple. If we didn't get a standing ovation every time we finished performing, we weren't ready. I said, damn.
Mm.
So now you think about that, and then you
Okay.
see Beyonce perform today. You see how she leave it on the she leave it on the
Yeah.
floor every night. Well, you have
Absolutely.
to be like,
Hmm. Gotta give it
it
up.
ain't no, nah, she did good. No, it's like,
Right.
whew.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
I get it. I get it. Oh,
Now,
that was dope.
now I guess again, you know, that's a hell of a barometer to try to reach. But that's how you have to be if you really want to do this. If you really want to be that person. Now again, everybody don't want to do that.
Right.
Some people really feel like I could be lucky enough to you know I'm in high school today and I'm on the radio tomorrow.
Right.
And that's okay. And they make their money and they get their club and and they want to move
So
on.
do you
So
think it's an age limit on the industry? I feel like
nah,
it's
nah, nah,
no age
nah, nah.
now.
People would say that. Like I work with executives that would be like, "Yo, if they're over 23,
Right.
don't bring them here." But they're in their mind, it wasn't because of that. It was just more so like we have so much other stuff in front of them, in front of Sweets. So by the time we're able to get to Sweets, it's going to take us 2 years. So she come
Okay.
in at you know 23, we can't get to her till she's 25.
Right.
If she comes in at 25, we can't get to her till she's 27.
Right.
And then hopefully she got a hit at the time.
Right.
And if
Right.
not, now she's 29. So I understood the logic. But I think now what we're seeing is like you know, Victoria Monet's is catching a hit in 8 years, or Kalani finally has a really, really big moment, and this is her 10th year, and
Hmm.
you know, Cardi B just goes on tour, and this is her ninth, 10th year, and so I don't think the age thing. I think Hov was 26 when he first started. I think Ross
Yeah,
was almost the same age. So, but don't look at the work ethic of those guys
I
that were
think
older.
DMX too was older on the older
Yeah,
side. But I'm talking like boots on the ground. I think he probably 50. So you
but
have
but
people
but
that
for
have
but for that genre,
right,
it works. They don't care down south.
right.
Below the Mason Dixon, they like this is our music. This is
Mhm.
ours.
Mhm. No, I
Okay.
get that. So a lot of artists they want access, they want help, they want connections. What do they misunderstand about that? Like Ron, I need you to help me because you kind of leaned a little bit towards that, with the management. But when they want access, they want help, they want some industry connections. Like, what's the biggest misconception that these local artists that aren't on yet, that they don't really understand about that, about what it really takes to even earn that or get that?
It takes time. You know, you have to put in the time to develop a relationship with somebody. You know how many dinners and meetings and one on ones I've had with some of my peers, whether it's a DJ or a coworker or a programmer or uh, a mentor, or what I'm saying. Like, I put a lot of time in with these folks. I had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, and a lot of people don't want to take the time to you know follow up.
Okay.
Right? You might catch me on a good day, and I may respond back and be like, "Yo, let's do this, or let's meet tomorrow," but you may not. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And, but by the way, it's okay. But that's mainly because I got a lot of other things going on.
Right.
But it's understanding that, like, yo, look, you got to develop your own relationships. You know what I'm saying? Even if you work in a record, I always tell artists like, you got to go out there and you have to sell the record, because that's another thing too, sweet. Because if I feel like I want it more than you, that ain't gonna work.
That's not gonna
That's not
work.
for me.
Right. Right. So, what does for the independent artists who may be watching, what should they already have in place before they even approach you? I'm not saying that. I don't mean that in a cocky way, but we're talking on a business level. You know, um, and I'm just saying any artist, any local, Joe Grits, what should he already have in place, or BK, what should he have in place? You know, um, before they approach you, somebody like you.
Well, you said before you, well, one, know who you're approaching, because a lot of people will run up on me and think that I'm an A&R, and I'm not. Right. So
Okay.
let's start there.
Right.
Right. No, I don't sign people. I promote people. It's a difference.
Right.
But I don't sign people. Yes, I have relationships with a lot of A&R guys, a lot of publishing people. Yes, I can hit them up and say this guy is dope. Doesn't mean that they're gonna listen. Doesn't mean they're gonna take heed to it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have a problem reaching out saying, "Hey, Dallas, this is my guy. Yo, Sean Barron, listen to this." You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's cool. But again, I'm not on their neck about it either. Yo, K Mac, yo, did you listen to that record? Like, I'll send it off and be like, yo, when I see you, I'll ask, because I respect their schedule. Right? I
Right.
understand they're busy. They got
Mhm.
other things. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So it's understanding who you're talking to. Number one. Number two, I would say definitely make sure you understand how to make quality music. Right.
Mhm.
Let's start with the sound. Right. Um, and nowadays it's a lot easier because people are making things on their phone through Suno, and they going up on Spotify, right? God bless them. You know what I'm saying? But have a clean version. Have all your files together, and then from there it's literally going and taking the time to develop your relationships with your local DJs or whoever's hot, and support what they got going on. See, the one thing about me is that I'm a supporter. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and I just do it because I just Jay Valentine and Tank, those are my guys. So I don't care what they doing. I'm just
Hmm.
going to support
Right.
because whenever I needed something from them, and I ain't even in the marketplace, but I know if I called Jay, and he may have just did it because he just happened to have three extra tickets. But hey, I don't know. But I know if I called or when I called, the guy came through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember those things. So I don't care what they're doing. It's not about tanks on Broadway. I'm buying the ticket.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's taking the time to support people because you're gonna want that support back. And but again, it takes time. And once you realize that, that's where the discipline comes in. Once you
Okay.
realize that it takes that much time and discipline to really like put that 10,000 hours in,
Hmm.
yeah.
So what should they be doing? Like for the local artists, because um, it's people who I'm sure it's people who are mad at you, who's mad at, and I'm just talking local artists, who's mad at you, who's mad at Billy Bush, who's mad at Juan Coon, who's even mad at Big Mike, like mad at people who they perceive to be in a good place. I mean, or who are in a good place. Like what should they be doing? What could they do?
I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. Like you, all those names, all them people you name, it's like
And they've been
you
listen.
got to get them the product. Like you got to give them the product. Like you have to make the record. It all starts with the music.
And these
Like
people been grinding, so I know they've been.
yeah,
We know
it's
Billy Bush
listen,
been
it's
grinding
yeah, but it
since.
starts with the music. I cannot give Billy Bush a record that doesn't fit how he plays what he plays.
Right.
Like I still have to be like, yo, listen to this. And as a DJ, with a person with a DJ ear, I would dare say I could kind of listen to a record and be like, yo, you know what, this will kind of fit with the Kalani. So if he does play it, I can kind of,
Okay.
you feel what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
and now you can have a record that just cuts through, which works some of the time, but as
Hmm.
a newer artist, it's like, okay, how did you build your fan base? Because word of mouth still works because that's how I got put on the Showly. Somebody told me Showly. I didn't hear the music. Nobody didn't
Right.
pass me nothing. It was just word of mouth. So word of mouth still works. It's like, yo, bro, you gotta listen to this kid Showly out in Bridgeport. I'm telling you, Ron, you're gonna like this kid.
Hmm.
And as I went and searched for him, you know what? Showly, come pull up on me. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Now, what people really don't realize. So, like for me in New York City, I'm like, my office is open. If you happen to be in town and you trying to pull up, because my whole thing is come out of Connecticut for a second and breathe some of this New York air and get some of this energy,
Right.
and let's go hang out for a little bit, and then you go back and hopefully that inspires you to write another record or coming from a different perspective. So, but I like to do that with like the local Mojo, same thing. Shout out to
Hmm.
Mojo,
Yeah.
like come up to the city and catch a vibe and see what we do out here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because you're only an hour away. Y'all acting like
Right.
y'all gotta go from here to Richmond.
Right.
Like it's like
Right.
2 hours
It's
away.
right there.
Yo, I ain't got no bread. You don't need no bread. Come on.
Right.
Like I cut every excuse out from whatever you gonna say. But I know if I call Sweets and be like, yo, Sweets, I got a listening party for baby Kobe. She like, when? What time? And she there
There.
at 8 o'clock, telling her at
Right.
5 o'clock. So, but everyone doesn't have that drive and that discipline. And I think
Right.
that's the. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's really just that because you could put out, and then you just, me see. This is where the opinions kind of like vary because I say put out a lot of music because now we're in a Spotify age where it's just like it's about catalog. So I'm always trying to tell the artist put out more music to just build up your catalog. It doesn't matter if it ain't about yo. This is my single. Just put the music out.
Right.
If you telling me you got 80 records on your hard drive, put them out. I used to tell her, Shirley coming to the office like, yo, Ron, me and Ty Henny about to do this mixtape. Dope. That's yes.
Okay.
What you think about? Yeah, yes. Nah, but I think I just want. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's
Put
it.
it out.
Let's go.
Put it
You know
out.
what I'm saying?
What makes an artist um memorable in the right way and unforgettable in the wrong way.
See, it's weird because you know you may see me and you might be twisted that night, but you might have been waiting to run up on me or catch me at one at some you know an opportune time, and it's just
Hmm.
like, yo, Ron, listen, yo, bro, blah, 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 blah. And I may not want to hear it,
Right.
but I'm gonna give you your you know your 2 minutes, your three
Hmm.
minutes, and you know exchange numbers and keep it moving because I understand that you know that moment may not come back around for you.
Oh, right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right,
You know, it's like seeing Hove in the elevator coming down Battery Studios. You give a nigga dap, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna work for you one day. Think it's gonna happen again. It never happens again.
right,
You get what I'm saying? So
right.
it's like, like these moments don't happen. So you got to take advantage of your moment. You know what I'm saying? Like drama couldn't have said it better. Like, you know, wait on my moment. You know what I'm saying? When that moment
Right.
presents itself, like what you going, like how
So,
you
what
gonna
makes you
handle it?
remember an artist? Like, what, you know,
It's just
without.
follow up because I meet so. Listen, I'm a people person, so I meet so many different people, so many different. I manage so many different personalities, and being an executive, you learn that from like when you have a staff of like I had a staff of like 6 people at one time where I got to really three guys, two females, and I have to manage the personalities. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And that took a second because they're younger, number one, and they're not thinking how they're not taking in the information how I think they should. So I have to figure out what makes them tick. And I think that's the good thing about being a coach. That's why the people that I like teams that have great coaching. That's why I like
Mhm.
the Patriots. That's why I like, UConn because I
Mhm.
love the coaching part of it. I
Right,
like
right.
the motivation. I like, you being able to like get a team of people together and y'all all get on the same accord and be like, yo, do work. You
Yes.
get what I'm saying?
I love
Like
that.
that's what I like. I like
Yeah.
being able to say like, yo, this is the crew. Okay, this is us guys.
Right.
Now
With
let's go figure this record out. Let's go break this. You
right.
get what I'm saying? So um but that's the key to me. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
That's the key.
So, so you've been in Billboard,
I
been
have.
on Billboard. I used two pictures to even promote this podcast on purpose. Billboard and Double XL. You know, I'm sure you've had like wow. Like how did that feel? Like
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it like like my man DJ said. I'm gonna keep it veal,
okay.
right? Those were such a long time coming because when prior to that, a lot of times us promo guys don't really get a lot of. We don't get those looks.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And but as promo people, also we always pride ourselves on being the guys in the background, right? We'll break the records. We'll do this with the artists, whatever. But everybody wants to be on the radio at the time. Like you're begging at the beginning of your career, like, oh my God, how can I get on the radio? I want to do this, or I got these DJs support me. And then as you grow in your career, um, people forget that. And I know it's a lot of talk right now about the Jay Z clip when he said something about the DJs. Now I knew where he was going with it, and it wasn't what he was saying and what I'm saying isn't the same. But I understand because you know people aren't really giving the DJ the credit that they deserve, the artist, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the DJ breaks the record. The DJ is announcing the record. You know what I'm saying? The DJ is making you get familiar with the record. Always has been,
Right.
and I think the artists have to remember that part of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So for me, going back to the double XL thing. So as promo guys, we
Mhm.
used to always get overlooked. And as we got into the social media world, we started realizing like, yo, you know, we gotta get these looks too. We gotta get these magazines. How we get in there? Like, who's the publicist? Like, what's what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, oh, we can only pick 2 people out of the 9 people at the label. It's like, yo, hold on. So the blessing was once I got to Warner, um, the publicity team and the executives in front, the leadership really was like, you know what, let's shine the light on Ron's Stewart and really show that he's representing us, um, and I couldn't be more proud to be that, for them. That's why I just go so hard for the squad to this day because they gave me a lot of things I didn't. Like Warner's like grad school for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Atlantic was undergrad. I learned a lot um, from Kai's and Julian Craig and those guys. But Warner's really allowed me to kind of spread my wings and you know um, show
Showcase
and
your
prove.
capability.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I showcased it a lot in Atlanta because I was there for 12 years. So, but we had so many big acts. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, the moments there were just incredible. Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. That album comes out during the hurricane
Mhm.
at that time. Nipsey Hussle. We in All Star Weekend in L.A. Like, what are the odds that the All Star Weekend is in L.A. that year when he drops Victory Lap, and we're in
Mhm.
L.A. running around doing, promoting and radio station and concert and you know Apple Music and Sirius Satellite and you know going to the real, going to Power and like that was just a movie.
It was.
It was a
I
movie.
even seen a video with you and Nipsey. It was a movie. I don't know if it
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
music video or was it
yeah.
just a
Nah,
recap
that
of
was a
what y'all was
recap.
doing.
We was at Power 106.
Yeah, it was dope. I'm like,
Fresh out
woo!
2 bottles of 42.
Yes. What?
Me and
I
my
was
man
like,
B Dot.
oh man.
Shout out to my man B Dot. We was in there twisted, but that was just the Cardi B, like, you know, man, that was just a moment. And I always gotta bring this up when it comes to Cardi B because even though we see where she's at now, but I think what people didn't realize at the time was that, well, first of all, she showed me that the personality trumped the music
Okay.
because she had did the quick stint on Love and Hip
Love and
Hop,
hip hop, right?
but she was killer on social media, and I was in Chicago at the time. Me and my wife was living in Chicago, so I would come back here to kind of catch a few Love and Hip Hop, scenes getting shot,
Mhm.
and so I saw her, and I never forget my man Brooklyn Johnny had called me in Chicago. Was like, "Yo, bro, I'm telling you, this girl's gonna be bigger than Nicki Minaj, man. Like, I gotta find this girl." I was like, "Bigger than Nicki Minaj?
Mhm.
Shit, like that's how you feel?"
Mhm.
He was like, "Yo, I'm telling you, bro." He's like, "Yeah." I said, "All right, well, But he believed, man, and we laughed about it because I saw him at the show last week, and I haven't seen him in a while. He was just like, "Yo, bro, you remember back then we had that conversation?" And I was like, "Yeah." Now look, and he did it before. He did with Kodak Black was the same thing. It's like, "Yo, bro, this kid from Florida, he got it," and he was just batting 1,000. But he would call me and really be like, "Yo, bro, I got to play. Let's put this play together. Like, help me get this artist hot."
Okay.
Come up with different ideas. Like, "Yo, let's do this," and but we did it with Kodak. We did it with Lajon Slim was another one from Florida, and then Cardi B was the third one. And I was like, man,
Mhm.
this kid couldn't miss. You know
That's
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
was talking about. Like, what is it that, and maybe not necessarily you, but someone like him would see in an artist, and you really just answered it. Like,
I mean, again, it's the time. The time really dictates a lot of that, I think.
mhm.
But again, that's what A&R. That's the secret sauce of being a real, true A&R, an A&R guy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And again, that's why I'm super clear. I'm not an A&R. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But I try to pick their brains. Like my man Sean Barron will be like, "Yo, Ty Dolla Sign, I just like the music.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't about his followers
Right.
at the time. But when I went on the road with Ty Dolla Sign and we did like a week run from like Houston all the way across back to Atlanta, from Houston to Dallas to Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntsville, all the way back to Atlanta. This is right before Thanksgiving. I got a great Ty Dolla Sign story. So I went him in Houston and so I got radio and all this stuff set up. So he's like, "Yo, look, Baby Bash called me to do a record with him." He's a big Baby Bash fan at the time.
Mhm.
I don't know. And again, me and him are just, we only been, this is like day 2.
Okay.
So I'm driving him around. I'm just like, "Yo, but we got radio at 4." So he was like, nah, man, but yo, Baby Bash, like he asked me to do this record. Like, yo, let me stop by. Like, I gotta go by the studio. I'm like, oh, looking at the watch. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we ain't gonna make it, man. So I drive to the studio. Baby Bash opens the door. Boom, we go inside. It's four. It's like 4 o'clock. We gotta be at the radio interview at 5. Ty goes in there. Music is playing. Listen to the music. Sparks the blunt. The J. I don't want to say the blunt. Sparks the J. Goes in the booth, knocks out his verse, knocks out his ad libs. We in and out of there in 25 minutes.
Okay.
Driving to the radio station, made it on time.
On time.
I said, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
That's dope.
But again, so so that's what Sean Barron saw in Ty. So I'm saying all that to
Okay.
say
Yeah.
he was just adamant like, yo, the dude is talented and the music is dope. I want to sign him. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a Ty Dolla Sign fan. Like, love him like a brother. Like, so, but just super talented, man. To see him in the studio and see him work. I mean, I would just be blessed to see a lot of just talented, talented artists in the studio just work. And I think for me, that's the high for me
Mm-hmm.
to see T Pain cut a record at the time and see his process and you know what I'm saying and
I love T-Pain
you know so again I just think everything is there because his
in
so
that grind.
Sean's thing is and same thing with Leon Thomas. She's like around the same thing. Like when I heard the music when me and Ty was trying to figure it out and I heard the music I was like, oh, this kid is dope. And I think we need a lot more of that. But I think also it was Sean understood the time it takes. I would assume, right? The time
Right.
it takes for it to catch
Right. Right.
and be willing to
Invest that time, his
invest
time,
that
and invest.
time.
Would you want to be in an A&R?
I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to like catch one and
Because
say
I
that I
would think
signed
that.
it? You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, I
Yeah, I mean, I
understand
would.
that, but I can only imagine the pressure.
No pressure,
No pressure.
no pressure.
So do you think being from Norwalk gave you an extra edge and grind and you know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, no, I don't. I think, I mean, coming from a small city, but we're so
Yeah.
close to New York, so it's like, you know, but because I went to school and I was really, really cool with a lot of kids from the Bronx, a lot of cats from Queens, and it had my Brooklyn people, so it was just always like you know, I just had people from every borough, so I was able to go to Harlem and kick it, or go buy my weed from the Bronx, and then go
Right.
to
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying, or go shopping in Brooklyn, or go downtown and met DJ Will at I think he was working at Rock and Soul at the time, the record store. So I was just able to really just move around. I mean, once I started to travel is really what did it. That's what really
Mhm.
kind of helped me like tremendously because once I saw how people moved around in different cities, I was like, oh wow,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And you always traveled. Like
yeah,
you wasn't afraid to travel.
yeah.
Like that when we flew out to Atlanta, this wasn't anything major, but it was music.
It was music.
You know, it was music. You know, and we flew out there and you was with it. You was always with it. What do you have to say to an artist in Norwalk with who may have big dreams? You know, what kind of advice would you
Listen,
give them? And we're talking, music
I mean, listen, put out the music.
or any city like Norwalk.
Put out the music. Um, Put together a team. You got to have your digital guy. At the very least, your digital guy, your producer, and a place you can record is super key because there's so many things you can do with this thing right here that don't cost $1.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can record the content. You can put it on the iPhone, shoots in 4K. I mean, Little X out in Toronto shot a full movie on an
Mm-hmm.
iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So, just so many things you could do. It's like I was talking to somebody the other day. Yeah, if I could do this, then I need the budget. I said the budget to do what?
Right.
So if I give you $20,000 right now, what you gonna do with it? Oh, so then I'm gonna go shoot the content. What kind of content? I said, well, you could do that on your phone. So why don't you just go buy 3 more iPhones and set it up like y'all got it here, one right there, one right there, one right there.
Mm-hmm.
But you need another $200 for some lights.
Right. It's not 20 racks that you need.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? So I just think it's a loaded question, sweet, just to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because if I really knew what you really had to do to really kind of get you going, I wouldn't be here. Like we'd be having this interview in Bali.
Well, no, I'm sure you'll still be here. But Dee, listen, those answers were great because people don't know that.
Nah, listen.
People think that it's just one part, like record the song. They don't need the digital person. They don't need the person with the relationships. They don't need the marketing person. They don't need to pay, like they don't need these things because they swear they have it. Yeah. They swear they have it. And there's so many great artists that even come through the studio that swear they have it. And I could tell them all day what they're missing. Even if it's something digital, so many people that we talk to and talk them into doing social media, it's a few people that we've come across and they're blowing up on social media now, but they weren't utilizing the platform for that then. Where people that record songs and they're not releasing the songs. I'm like, let the song go. What are you holding it for?
But that's where I think, Chosen Few has to have the distro then. Right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, and what I'm realizing a lot now is people don't know how to do things, but they're also not man or woman enough to say they don't know how. So they're expecting us to see through that
Right.
and be like, oh, okay, so then let me help you do this. Right? Because a lot of times, like I meet people online and, they'll hit me in the DM. Like I said, if you catch me in a good mood, and they'd be like, "Yo, can I email you something?" Yeah, email it to me. And I'm like, "Yo, it's dope." And I listen, and then like I never forget. I came across this one cat. He was doing something, and I shot to wherever he shot it at, but the lighting was impeccable, and it was just like, just so you scroll, how it is once you stop.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to the guy. He's like, "Yeah, man, I got 80 records just sitting here ready to go." So I was like, "You got 80 records?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "All right." So I just hit the door. I said, "Hey man, listen man, I see what you're doing. You need any help, just hit me. It's all good." And I literally just did it like that. Wasn't asking for another, didn't want nothing from him. So he's like, "Yo, big bro, like I was like, yeah, like seriously, if you got that many records just sitting in your hard drive, I can help you just put them up and just see what happens. Like I ain't trying to, it's not overkill, but that's what I'm saying. So that helps. And shout out to Joey Ochoa out there. He's out in Grand Rapids, but he was just like a monster with it. But to have that many records just sitting in the hard drive, it's like, for what? Let them records go.
Right.
Let
Right.
them
Did he
go.
ever give you the records,
Yeah,
or did you ever
roll them out.
Okay.
Still to this day. I spoke to him yesterday. He's like, "Yo, big bro, look." He came to New York. I was like, "Yo, now what you think I need to do?" No, I think you need to get some content, bro. Like you got everything. You just need to come to New York with a camera guy. Comes up with 80 pieces of content. I'm like, wow.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love it.
Now mind you, this is a year in, but it took him to realize it and see.
So is it content of him recording a music video or
That's
content of
everything. Recording a music video, pulling up. I hate when people pull up on me with a camera in my face. I don't even like. I'm like,
Right.
bro, like, give me a heads up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, Ron, let me come check you. All right, come downstairs. They up the elevator. They're like, yo. Like, yeah, come on, man. Come on, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, man, he just shooting everything. And it's just like, because again, I think people still want to see the process. Like, I still want to see how you're able to manage a studio like this, and I want to know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want to know how. Like, that's why I love Dolo so much, because his mental was like, he was just so far gone. You know what I'm saying? Before Drake. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was just like with his thought process of just, he'd just be like, yo, Skull, just teach yourself how to do it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had a real problem with like teach myself
Right.
until I watched him like do some amazing things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From teaching himself, and I'm just like, oh wow, like that's a gift. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And so that's why the genius part in his name was always like, no, that's real, because
Yeah. Yeah.
he's a genius. You
Dolomite,
know
the
what I'm saying?
lyrical genius. Yeah, he was dope. He was dope. A lot of the things, and hence why we're all how do you call it?
Self-contained.
Self-contained. You know what I'm saying? That because we teach ourselves. We teach ourselves everything. This whole thing. I remember when you said, "Sweet, you need to get a podcast now, get it popping." You know, and I'm like, I got one, but I had to
Right, yeah,
revamp
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and refine it to exactly what you were saying. And now, I'm off to the races.
And so for those that don't know, so Sweets was always the she always had the business side um in her corner. She was always like, okay, I hear y'all doing all that keying, but we gotta get this business right. And and it used to shake me back then because I used to be like, damn, like Dola, why is Sweet so adamant about this business, dog? She's like, oh, I don't know, man. That's just her thing. But as I got, you know, as I grew in the music business, I realized what that really was.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know your business, someone's gonna take advantage of your business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was just such we laugh about it because, like I said, you know, Sweets was tough. Like when it came down to it, it was like, yo, we need that bread. You know what I'm saying to you? And on time, by the way.
So y'all see nothing change.
On time. So he used to laugh. She'd turn her back and be like, "What the fuck's wrong with Sweets, man? She's tripping, dog.
We need that bread.
The bread today. I told her tomorrow. I'm like, no. But nah, that was key. And people come out my office all the time. I'll be having conversations sometimes, and I'll be like, yo, back in the day they called it the show business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's such an old school word, but it was about the show.
Mm-hmm.
But a damn show was about the business.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to be able to perform, right? Let's not get that confused.
Yeah.
The show part was important, but the business was like, you gotta have your business in order, man. And a lot of people was getting their business taken advantage of, and even to this day, it's just so I just try. For me, I just like to do fair business with people. If I'm doing any kind of business with you at all, because these days it's just it's time consuming. You know what I'm saying? I got a son now. I got I'm married. I'm trying to make time for the family, and then I
Right.
still like to move around and still see what's going on out there, and still support my friends and family. Trying to still taking care of my family and all of that stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I still love the music though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in love with. I mean, hip hop turned 50. Like, who would have thought?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm criminal minded. I'm paid in full. I'm
Yes.
strictly business. I'm
The bridge is
Midnight
over.
Marauders. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm Wu Tang. 36 Chambers. You get me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm all of that. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style.
Right.
Get Rich or Die Trying. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
Yeah. Hip hop.
Reasonable Doubt. The Blueprint.
Yeah. I think that's your
Yeah.
favorite album, right?
Come on, man.
Or that
Yes,
was
it
your
is.
first. What's your
Yeah,
blueprint
that's the
story?
one that got me into hip hop. On 9/11, I left
Yeah.
school.
Oh.
My aunt took me to, what was it, Sam Goody at the time. I saw that blueprint sitting right
Yeah.
there, grabbed it, memorized it front to back.
You going to the Hove concert?
No.
Don't play yourself.
Yeah.
Go to that Hove concert, fam.
Okay.
Saturday is.
We were looking at tickets.
No, yeah. You can wait if you want a little bit till it
Yeah.
get home. That resell is the killer, but nah, I'm not playing with that one.
The Hove.
Got to do one.
Which one you going to? July 10th?
I'm doing Reasonable Doubt. I didn't realize. I didn't realize it was like he had the theme going. I'm just
Oh, he has.
so it's
a
Reasonable
theme.
Doubt Friday, Blueprint Saturday, and then Sunday is kind of like, I guess he's gonna do like a little mixed pot.
Mix between
You know what I'm saying?
mashup.
Of everything, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but so yeah, if I would have picked one, I probably would have picked the Blueprint, but that Reasonable Doubt at the time was just, that player talk was on 1,000. You know what
I
I'm saying?
remember Jay-Z. Listen,
out
I
the
got
hustle,
paperwork
22s,
still where Jay-Z was $5,000. We was going to book him. We like 5 racks for him because he was just sitting there. He wasn't moving on the
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
I think me and Dolo seen him at Toad's place and we were upstairs. And I'm like, look at him. He's not even moving. He's just standing there at the mic. And now he's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And I literally have paperwork where, I have the artist. You know how I was booking those artists. Have the artist. I got Jay-Z 5K. You know what I mean? You can't even touch Hove right now.
5K.
That's dope.
be
So
like
what's
that.
going on the thing? Love seeing my people. That's Rodney Black.
Shout out to Rodney
Who else we
Black.
got on there? BK.
V Jeff, great interview. Yo, first of all, Val, that's family. Val was a instrumental part of a lot of things going on for us back in the day. She used to throw the parties at her crib. Shout out to Val.
Okay.
You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
Val.
And Val was always the one. She had the camera ready. She's capturing the moment. So you know what I'm
Yep.
saying. Love her for that. But that's family for sure.
Yep. What
For
she
sure.
said, BK, I didn't even finish reading what she said. Um, Great interview, enjoying this history. Love y'all both hometown heroes in your own right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Val.
Love it.
VJ.
Chris Joyner, you know that's my brother.
Yep. Yep. I love
I get a
Chris.
good laugh with Chris every trip.
I just finished laughing with
No
him at
pun.
507 the other night. He's hilarious. Just even thinking about him the way he is. Chris, you a real
Man.
funny dude. Out of all the things that you've done, what are you most proud of thus far?
Starting a family. Because I really gave the music business a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I let time fly by,
Mm-hmm.
per se, right? So I would say being able to really lock in, you know what I'm saying, with a partner that understands what I do, um, don't get it confused, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, my wife is she's an R&B fanatic anyway, so it's like she loves what she loves. But to be able to raise a family, we got a 6-year-old son. That's I just enjoy spending time with him because I've seen other people do it. Like I've watched you with, you know what I mean. So I've
Mm-hmm.
seen other people do it with theirs,
Right.
right? And me being a godfather to, you know, my brother Rod X's daughter Sierra. So to really, I came into her life at a really, um, uh, a really like really interesting point in time, right? But that works. So to see her grow and graduate, now she's off and doing her own thing. And then so for me, it was like it kind of snapped when I moved to Chicago. I never forget my boss at the time. She was like, "Yo, so you just gonna go to Chicago and like single? Like what are you doing? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like figure this out." And I was like, "Yo, you know what? Maybe sure." Because again, at the time I'm rushing. I want to go everywhere. I want to be at the album release party. I want to go to this person's spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and you forget that, yo, like what you doing? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, the biggest accomplishment for me is being able to do that. But other than that, I would say, being able to play, you know, an instrumental role in like, getting an artist either signed or a hit record. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I've had my share of those moments where, but again, this goes back to, it was an A&R guy that believed in something and I just came in and helped. So, it's just being able to have those kind of moments where there's delivering a VSOP for Kate Michelle at the time, or like I said, or connecting the dot uh with Johnny and Cardi B, and and that just being something what it is. But again, it's these guys' vision. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So, um, being able to spend time with with Meek and Wale, and really understanding what makes those guys tick, and seeing me go through all of that BS with Drake at the time and not even bat an eye, and just be like, "Nigga, that's the internet.
Right.
I
Okay.
ain't worried about that.
Right.
Like, I'm getting to this bread."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And and me really like seeing how Wale was able to really like see talent early on and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna put them on my mixtape." I don't care if it was Meg Thee Stallion, Dua Lipa, um, oh my God, Major Lazer. You know what I'm saying? He just always seemed to be able. If you go back, and I always say that to him when I see him, I'd be like, "Yo, I don't think people really give you your flowers in that sense of the artists that you seen or did records with, and you actually like put them on, your albums and gave cats a look before they even go on French Montana. I could just Janae Aiko, like all these.
Yeah, I didn't
You know what I'm
realize
saying?
that.
Like, do a little research on that. And I joked with him. I was like, well, I'm gonna do a documentary on that. Just you know what I'm saying? Because I just think it's that's a skill in itself.
See it having that foresight,
You
that
know what I'm saying?
vision. Yeah.
Yo, nah, he's dope. And same with Ty. Ty be like, I see Ty be like, yo, you know, what you listen to? And at the time he'd be like, yo, it's this cat from Toronto named McConan, I forget. And yo, he's dope. We got this record called Going Up on a Tuesday. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And but every time I see him, he'd be like, oh, it's yo, you ain't paying, listen to this or pay attention to that. So it's those are the moments for me, that I'm happy I can just go back and kind of like, the plaques is one thing, but it's it's being able to hear the artist say thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't get promotion is a thankless job, and very seldom do you get an artist to be like, I appreciate it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where you see that they're really grateful
You know
for
what I'm
the
saying?
part that you played in their
And it's all of
success
it. Yeah.
or
And,
just their
and I'm
release.
saying that for all us promo guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just me because and by the way, not that, most of my guys be like, all right, I don't even care. I know you don't. But, I mean, because, my one of my mentors be like, yeah, bro, you get paid to promote, whether they da-da-da, like, that's just what it is. But again, you kind of want to be able to, because I'm not asking you to give me a show. Let me book you to come to the Globe for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Now I think I deserve it. Don't get it.
Don't misconstrue this.
Nah. No, I was just saying, like,
And
but now
I'm not declining
I'm not
that.
inclined that, but but nah, man, it's just sometimes you just cats just want to know, like, yo, man, that's why going back to you with the double XL stuff, like the mentions are important in
Right.
this day and age because you seeing people getting mentioned for things and they didn't do half the things you did.
Right.
Like, I need mines, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, come
Absolutely.
on. Let's talk about it.
When you take the Stew off, the Ron Stew title, not the promo guy, what keeps you grounded?
Coming back home.
Home meaning Norwalk?
Yeah. Talking to my brother on the line and you know what I'm saying, just hearing him talk shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's
He's hilarious too.
seeing like y'all where I could just literally just sit back and relax and just be like, no holds barred, niggas be like, shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
all of that is just
Because people don't say that. They don't talk to Ron Stewart like that,
they
right?
do, but it's just different because like we're friends, we're different kind of friends.
Right.
But like the people you came up with, that's just different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you?
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
that's just different because that's why I always try to say, yo, pull up, come into the city. Y'all come up. Yo, come to New York because I kind of want y'all to interact with like DJ South. Like, 'cause
Right.
he's hilarious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or, we go hang out with DJ Will or my man AB is out there. He's crazy as hell. So it's just like I be wanting to kind of like, blend the two
I get
and
it.
just kind of sit back in the corner and just watch you and you,
Right.
interact while y'all at that party. That's what I really like. So when you come to a party, that's really kind of what I do. It's like I'll invite you out and you'll come up and I'll just be in the cut and I'll just sit back for about 15 minutes and I'll just watch
Right.
and just see how people interact. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna interact.
I mean,
I'm gonna work that
you know
room.
what I'm saying?
I
So,
remember the Cardi B release party. That joint was
legendary.
fire. It was
Legendary.
who they remember. Nori got up, so it was Kevin Lyles, Andre Harrell was there. It was all the execs, Leor Cohen, everybody. So when Nori got up, I said, "Darlene, I'm going to go over there and sit down. Keep the camera out. Just take pictures when I sit down." So I go over there, and Kevin Lyles start cursing everybody out, like, "You don't know who this is? Come on." And I'm like, who the hell does he think I am? So I'm sitting in between all these execs that everybody want to be with. Who he thought I was, Sylvia? Or he said, "Man, that's Sylvia, man." The next
She thought
day,
you were Sylvia Rowe?
yeah. No, not Sylvia Roan. It was somebody who was his assistant because I texted you and told you the name they thought I was. He said, man, I'm just making some. Man, this Sylvia. You what? So now everybody hugging me. They like, what? Oh my God. So no, I'm like, Jesus, I got to get out of here. So Nori came back and spilt the little drink a little bit. And I said, oh man, come on, man. Let me get out of here. They was like, no, don't leave. I said, nah, I'm out of here. Nori all twisted and shit. Let me just get out of here. But I had to get out of there because before my cover was blown. And then I Googled the girl who it was that they thought I was, and our hair was alike. I had the, but we looked alike. Another funny story like that is you took PJ to Chris Brown's 18th birthday party.
Oh my God.
Yes, and it was at the Limelight.
The Limelight.
It was at the Limelight. So PJ had on the Uptowns with the glitter, the brown glitter, the BB Sims brown belt, and he's a handsome dude. So he said he went out on stage and the crowd went, wow. He said he looked, and before they could recognize he wasn't Chris, he said he hurried up and got off
stage.
But it's been some...
No. I forgot about that. That was...
Yeah.
Man, so many moments, yo.
Like going back for... Chris Brown is how old now? This is his 18th birthday party we talking about.
That's
so,
right.
Excuse me, miss. That's what was on fire then.
I saw the vinyl outside the door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had the Yo vinyl up on the wall right there.
You see it?
Yeah. I was like... And I already know where it came from.
Yep. Yep. That doggone... around that time. That's dope, though.
Yo, hold on a second.
Uh-huh.
Damn. Limelight. Damn. I remember that too.
Limelight?
Yeah, because I remember he was like, yo, this would be perfect for PJ because he was young. They were around the same age.
Yep.
Like, yo, he got to come see this kid. Yeah.
Yeah, you took him. He was under your wing for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was
a lot of
pretty
kids,
dope.
man. Everything is really for the kids. It's really about the experience. That's why nowadays everything is about the experience. I think we're getting back to that. You got to have an experience for the audience to grow your audience. You got to be able to give them something. They got to be able to walk away with something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's way too many artists nowadays. That's really the problem, Sweets. It's just so many artists.
So many artists, and there's so many older artists. That's why I was talking about age, because there's so many older artists who now, with the phone, they have an opportunity, and I have people who ask me, do you think I'm too old? And I personally don't think they're too old. We're talking about singers, with beautiful voices, people, and I'm not sure. Huh?
What do you tell them?
That they're not too old. It's not too late. I'm like, absolutely not. What? You in your prime.
That's right.
No, it's time to go. Listen, no red lights.
No red lights.
You got to do it. Either you're going to do it or you're not. Don't wait until what you going to wait till you're 60.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I tell them to keep going, because I believe in their talent. It's a lot of people who I really believe in their talent. And if I don't believe in their talent, I at least tell them what to do, what I think they should do without disrespecting their talent, or disrespecting their grind. Like maybe you need to do this or change this word or add this. I'm still executive producing or mentoring and consulting, because now if you really want to have a conversation and it's going to cost you a little something, I'm not managing anybody because we know what it's like managing artists, especially me here. But so what I do is I consult. You're going to pay a fee, but I'm going to give you some jewels. I'm going to give you some resources and tell you, I'm not talking, I'm not looking up this stuff. I'm talking directly to you. You're here. You understand what I mean? Like, I know people. I remember coming to Sony. I was in Lon Ray's office, and you where? With who? Remember I came up there with Jean-Marie Horvat. He did Remember the Time. He did, yes. And for him to sit there and tell success is like, so what's going on? And he looked at me and Julie Knapp and said, they're managing me. And Success looked at me like.
Jean-Marie was the engineer. Yes?
Yeah, the engineer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember Jean.
Yeah. And he's dope. Just the way he engineers and his, his whole thought process. He may produce a little bit, but.
Because he worked with Teddy.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. That's
That's right.
exactly who he came up
Teddy Riley.
with Teddy, and he wound up doing Michael Jackson stuff, you know, and a lot of other stuff. You know, people call on him, but I remember coming to your office. This time I wasn't there with you. You know, I was able
Right.
to come to your office on
Oh, somebody,
something
yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean, and that felt
Wow, I didn't
good.
even know that. And I spoke to John probably like a couple of years. I wish I had known. I would have definitely brought that up to him
Yeah,
because he definitely was like, yeah,
he knows
he
sweets.
shared a lot of jewels,
Yep,
especially
I
on
did
the
a lot
engineering
of.
production game.
And what's crazy is working with Julie. What I did was artist administration, so she gave me a different view of business. So I thought I knew business, but here I am. It was a lot of work that I did. I did a boogie with the hoodie, all his back work, his. I did a whole lot of stuff for him, for Wyclef,
Mm.
for Chief Keef, for Waka Flocka, for so many people, Jean Marie, for Boy Wonder. Like I didn't know these people. You know, I knew them on paper. So when I got to a club, or even if BK brought him up, you know, I'm like, oh, I did his paperwork, and literally could go pull up, you know, his sheets and his, you know, whatever it was I was doing
Yeah,
for the Grammys. You know, I did a lot of stuff in the, you know, Julie exposed me to a different part of the business, so I appreciated working with her.
mm.
You know what I mean? And she used to be the VP at Sony, you know, when she started JNAP Entertainment. You know what I mean? And she needed an assistant.
Mm.
And GAB actually introduced me to her.
Shout out to GAB,
Yeah,
my
shout
brother.
out to you, GAB.
GA Hot,
That's right, GA Hot.
another
There
one. You
you
couldn't
go.
tell me there was nobody nicer than GAB.
Yep, yep. And he's still nice. He's still doing his thing.
GAB.
You know, he's managing artists though. He's, you know, he has a few artists under his belt. So that's what
I mean, you know, I think that that is still needed. At first, I was kind of like, you know, I was with you. I was kind of like, I don't know about managing artists, but then I realized that, you know, we have to be able to regain control of the culture. I hate
Mhm.
using that word culture because it's like everyone uses it and it's kind of like, you know, we have to be able to regain the lifestyle
Okay.
back, right?
Right.
And control it because you know they've eliminated all the key things we used to use to really get hot and stay hot and promote and you know like you said you know it was street team, it was poster boards, it was a lot more things, there was a lot more tangible things
Right.
and you know with streaming and these phones it eliminated that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you know I don't see nobody in the college dorm with a digital you know photo album on their wall, like a
Right.
20-inch digital. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
where they, you know, where they got pictures of their favorite artists per
Right.
se. You know what I'm saying? So it's like again, it's how do we get back to planting those seeds the right way, right? It's like you have your TikTok moments where you can scroll and hear a record and hear that 20 seconds or 30 seconds of a record, right? That you may remember, or you have the 90 to 2.5 minute version of you hearing it at work or in the car from off the radio.
Right.
So, you know, I'd like to bet on the radio aspect of it being able of you being able to remember a record faster, right? To scale, right? Now,
Mhm.
I'm not saying of course you're going to remember on the TikTok because that's the algorithm. The algorithm puts it in and spreads it a lot faster like wildfire, right? To
Right.
help get it out there. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a great record. But if I have a great record, right? I have a
Mhm.
great record and you hearing it on the radio and on TikTok, it sets you up as an artist to really be able to scale and and get you where you need to be. And I think we just need a little bit more of that because again, people always tell me, Ron, it always comes back to the music. You gotta just make a great record. People are making good records, but everyone's not making great
But you
records.
know what it is too is that because of the phone, because of TikTok, these artists are almost unmanageable. Like you can't. They think they don't need a manager.
And we
They
just walk
think they
away.
don't. Yeah, that's why I consult.
Well
You
listen,
understand?
I mean, definitely that. Listen, by the way, consulting is pay for your service. You You got to pay for the
Absolutely.
service.
Yeah.
You know, I see. Ray Dan's like, yo, I got Ron. I'm doing Ray Dan's University. Yeah, cats want to come up here and they want to rock with me for 3 months. This is what they get. Woo, it's $5,000. It's not to exceed X amount of months. I'm like, but he understands his value
Yes.
and the information that he's given. Now, granted, he done gave you a shit ton of information in the past 3 years just online, just building this brand.
Right.
But some people still want that one on one. All right, you want that, you got to pay for it.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Because like I was saying, some artists you can't manage them. Or if you give them, if you even act like you want to manage them or want to help them, they got that. Like, no, I got, I'm actually working on something else. And I'm, like they have it together and they really don't have it together. That's what bothers me the most.
But that's why you just walk away. See, now for me, I have no problem walking away.
Right.
Took me a minute to get there, right? But now, listen, my brother. Listen, sis. I hear you.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting out of my bed for less than 25%.
Okay.
Period.
Absolutely.
So let's just be super clear. Because I know you're going to call me every day. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be all up in my face like a battle rapper. You get me? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be wanting to, you're gonna be wanting to pull up.
Right.
You're gonna be in the office. You want to do all of that? Nah.
Right.
Nah.
Right.
Nah.
See, with me in the studio, I just don't show up. So with sessions, I can't even show up for because you're not gonna pick my brain. You're not gonna slickly or slyly or or outwardly ask me these questions that that I know are valuable. Now we can have a conversation. I'm not saying that I'm not approachable. But I know when we're crossing the consultation lines.
But someone also said this to me. Tell me how you feel about this. Somebody said to me, "There's like Ron. It doesn't matter what you say to these artists. You could tell them the full blueprint of how to get on." I said, "Well, what do you mean? They won't apply it."
That's true.
So what are you worried about? Like you can sit here and tell them how to. You can, even if you consult, right? You can consult them for a month straight. They still won't do what it takes to make it happen. Most won't.
90, I'll say 90% or good. Yeah, about a good 85 to 90%.
Now, why is that?
Because they think they have it. Now, the small percentages, the small percentage of people who don't have it, they're willing to pay for it. And it's usually the older ones, even if it's marketing, because we do everything here. We market. We produce, promote, we do produce events, you name it, we do it. The people who really pay for the marketing part, they're older and they know that they need it. Now, the younger people, they want to run around and rely on their phones, because there's been a lot of great artists who've been grinding for a long time now.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That was here, like, you know what I'm saying? But they think that they don't need the sweets. They don't need the jewels that I have. So they go back and they go to their phones. They think that the phones, this is microwave stuff. Like the phones make them think that, it's going to happen in an instant. Meanwhile, they're getting older, where they were 17, they're 27. Where they were 27, they're 47. Like these years are going by. And I think that they think, especially with technology now and the social media platforms, they think they have it. They think they have it. Or if they went to a show and opened up, or if they met one person, they don't understand the grind, the intern times. They don't understand the years that it took. They don't even know what I just said about me and Julie Knapp. They don't know what I know, but they think they know more. And I don't argue with them. I don't try to convince them that I know more. And I'm not saying that I do know more, but I have a good way of navigating through. Mm-hmm. You understand that would probably get you doors open faster than what your phone is doing. But they believe in the phone more than people. They think that they can do it digitally. That's what I personally think. That they think they just have it in a digital way, or especially TikTok, it's easy to go viral. It's easy. Well, I'll say once you go viral, you think it's easy to go viral again.
That's right.
So now they're latching on to that. Like, I did it once, so I could do it. And they're just constantly, making stuff, constantly making stuff, trying to when we could have did something. Like you could have been opening up for damn Cardi B for all you know. You don't know what you could have been doing with your talent. You know what I mean? But they choose the digital route. So I think that they're so full of self gratification with their phones that they don't believe in what somebody like me or you could really do for them.
So you think they don't think they need mentors?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't think they need mentors because they have Chat GPT. They have all the social media. They have Google, and they think they know it. They think they know it, but again, I think it comes with relationship, knowledge, experience, especially experience. If you don't know where to go or how to act and discipline and obedience, you have to know how to act when you go to these places. You have to know how to work a room in a good way, not running around the room and, and taking selfies and then posting the selfies up and think that's it. That's not it. Neo knows about the father-daughter ball. Like we had a whole conversation about that at Cardi B's party. You know what I mean? We didn't do it again, but he knows about it, and he knows about stuff like that. And I didn't shove it in his face. I let him ask me another question. I said, oh, okay, so he want to talk. So we started talking and, and I told him a little bit what I did. And, in fact, this is what I do also, have this event. And people don't know how to warm the seat, to have a conversation, and because they just go for the jugular right off the muscle and people don't want to hear that all the time.
Well, that's a skill too. Being able
communicating.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what I'm saying. So they lack communication skills. You have to know how to talk and you have to know how to humble yourself. I'm not
that part right there.
Yeah, I'm very humble. Even if I'm consulting an artist, like Italiano, I didn't have a problem carrying his bags.
Italiano.
Yeah. I didn't have a problem carrying his bag or holding his jacket or being at, radio stations with him and, you know what I'm saying, and playing the back because I know who I am. I know what I do and I know the power I possess.
That's right.
So, it's about being humble and being confident and just being disciplined and knowledgeable and knowing what to do. And a lot of people don't have all of those qualities. They may be knowledgeable, but they're not disciplined. Or may be disciplined, but don't know anything.
And not responsible.
Not responsible or accountable. You know what I'm saying? You have to be all these things. There's so many things that you have to be and then move forward. And I have that vision to see what a lot of people lack. I don't know everything that they lack, but I know what, the main bullet points, what they may not have that they think they have, but pride. It's a lot of pride too. They don't want to say that they don't have it, or they're afraid to fail. Like, go for it. How many doors was shut? How many doors? And Dolo showed me that when he had those damn badges.
Afraid to fail.
Me and Gabe, nah. So me and Gabe walked. Another time we were at Denny Moe's barbershop at an open mic, poetry night. It was me, GAB, and Dolo. Dolo said, I'm going to spit this. It's some old stuff. We like, nah, what? You gonna do that? No, don't do that. Come on, Dolo. He got up there and tore the barber shop because his delivery.
That's right.
He changed it all around and he yelling and he huffing and puffing and buffing. He doing all that stuff.
I know you heard of a mass murderer, heard of a burglar. Or do what law I know offer me be serving you.
Yo, Diddy Mo, when we used to see Diddy Mo after that, he said, Dolo be like, you remember me? He like, man, never forget you the way you can. Don't do that to my barbershop no more. Even White Clef, he did that with the Fugees on 125th Street.
I was with y'all that day.
Yeah.
I was with y'all that day. Laura Hill, we was all jumping the fence trying to get over the Adam Clay and Powell building.
Yes.
Everybody jumped. Laura looked over. Yo, Laura, what's up?
Yeah.
Yo, Connecticut. She like, come on then, come on.
Yes. Yes.
Top was,
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But
Yeah, I
stuff
remember that.
like that, like who's jumping fences?
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like people, they're too cute to do certain things in the grind. But that got us an invitation at damn Lauryn Hill's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One time I did a show at damn, I forgot the name of the club because they moved it, but it was with the Lost Boys, and Freaky Ty was alive at the time. It'll come to me the name of the club. But we outside, we going back and forth, we freestyling, and and I'm not. He's like, but when we performed, I had the girl. That's when I had he dissed me and now he wants me back. That song. So I had Shanika sing, and I said, listen, you're gonna go out there and sing. They're gonna think you're gonna sing. They probably gonna boo you. They're gonna do whatever, and they just keep it going. Then when the beat drop, I'm gonna come out there and we gonna let this Latin quarters. We gonna let this joint on fire. Yeah. So she went out there and said, he dissed me. Freaky Tide. No, he didn't, stupid. And now he wants me back. No, he don't. But she started clamming up. So I was on fire.
She said she started clamming up.
She started clamming up. I came out there, I got the damn mic. I said, yo, that first mic didn't work, so I was really on fire. When I got to that second mic, I said, well, why LB fam trying to diss Chosen Few, man? F that shit. Connecticut is in this I start going crazy. The beat dropped and the whole crowd just started jumping and going crazy. Then I said, he dissed me and now he wants me back, but he can't have me back. Then I turned to the Lost Boys and said, the mother is diss me and now I'm singing to them. And then I went on into my rap. They invited us to the crib. But the funny thing is now, remember I said what makes you remember an artist and what makes you know how Mr. Cheeks remember me?
What?
Because when we went to his house, we had the white Jeep. We didn't have the top and it started raining. How did we have 8 umbrellas in the car? So we lifted up all the umbrellas and covered the Jeep up. So to this day, he remembers me for that. But that type of behavior,
that's classic though.
Yeah, some classic opportunities.
But again, those are the moments that what I'm saying. Like you can't, like it doesn't happen without those things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
People are afraid to create those moments.
No, because it ain't even creating it. Some people are just afraid to put themselves in the position for a moment to even happen. For a moment
to happen, exactly. Like you have to take advantage of the moment.
You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of the invite.
I mean,
hello.
Yeah, and make a moment. Create a moment.
I ain't feel like go. You know how many times I don't feel like leaving the crib, but I end up going anyway, and it be a legendary night.
That's right.
But 6 hours ago, I'm at the crib like, I don't know if I should.
Yeah.
I ain't really feeling it right now. Go.
Yep. I love it when it's like that.
Gotta be in it.
I love it when it's like that.
Gotta be in it.
So success is one thing, legacy is another.
That's correct.
So what do you want your legacy to be, or what would you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to say about Rob?
I just want people to say that through it all, he dreamed it, he focused on it, and he accomplished it.
I love that.
You understand what I'm saying? And he still came and I don't want to say put people on, but he never forgot where he came from. He always extended that olive branch to come back, come up here, come. You know what I mean? Come enjoy this with me. Mm-hmm. Because the unfortunate part is, for me. And I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna just keep it real. It's like for me that the most challenging part of it all is not being able to have my real close friends there with me for the ride. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Dolo's not here. Rod X is that was my brother. He's out there. He just hasn't been there with me like it should have been because we all grew up together. You get what I'm saying? Right. So for me, that's the part that really, really, makes me shed a tear at times because when I just think about all the the nights of just drinking a 40 or driving in the Acura and dreaming about having an opportunity to really try to, put on for a small town. You know what I'm saying? And then when you see other people from small towns make it from like Kentucky or Buffalo or, you know,
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee or, you know what I'm saying? And these guys are talented. And, um, but, being so close to New York, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, the tri state, I mean, listen, we can go toe to toe with the best one, but again, you got to be present though. You get me?
You have to show up.
You gotta show up. You gotta be there.
Right.
You gotta come out and be in that party and let some of them, all the fly ladies from out here go in there and let them New York cats get at you. You hear me? Let them know, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, so for me, that was just really important to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just being present. You know what I'm saying, and just understand that I stayed the course.
Yes.
I stayed the fucking course.
Yep.
And did not waver.
And that's dope. That's what I'm proud of. To even see it, to know and to see it, and to every time anything happens, anything popping, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Matter of fact, you're going to show me how to put the notifications on, because when I went to his page to steal some pictures, I'm like, I missed this? It's a few things that have it that doesn't come on my page. I don't want that. I want to know what you're doing.
We got to get that algorithm up.
Yeah. I got to know what the hell is going on. Like, what? How did I miss this? You have any questions, BK?
I do, but we're going on about 2 hours now.
That's okay.
I mean, what you expect? I mean, this is, I don't, by the way, I don't do these, you know what I'm saying? But this is family. So, like I said, I like to just sit back and enjoy the fruits of the labor. But, Sweets called and was like, Ron, we need to have a conversation. So it was only right.
Yeah.
If I sit down with somebody, we got to sit down with family, because it's really not an interview. It's really just a conversation.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's really just a conversation.
You guys talk.
Yeah. And every question I ask, people need to know. Like, people want to know these things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They want to hear it. What you got, BK, that the people want to hear? Or that BK wants to hear?
I got one. As far as like artists that you saw, like as you were coming up, are there any ones that you missed that you're like, damn, I wish we got our hands on them early enough, or any like near misses?
That's a good question.
Any near misses? See, again,
like
because
Envy and Cardi B.
Like I'm see, because we didn't, as the promo guy, you're not really privy to every like artist that they try to sign and try to like bring in. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you try to, you'll have a meeting with, the PFQCs of the world and those guys, and you try to figure it out. But again, I'm not really in those. I was never in those meetings. You know what I'm saying? That's why the ones that we end up getting, it was just so. It was just, it was such a big moment at the time because, again, I'm working on a label where we were scorching. We had a run. We had some great A&Rs. We had Orlando, Barron. We had fucking Dallas. We had Success. So we was cooking out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and they were delivering. I think that's the part people don't. You can't take that part away. They were delivering. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like I said, it always comes back to the music, but you got to put these records together. You know what I'm saying? No matter what building you're in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Universal works. I don't know how those other buildings work, but I know for us, it was about who got the hit record. And, and if you didn't have it, it was okay. Take your time, go get it, but sweet you up.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? You know what I'm saying? All right, well, so who got it? And those are really like the small little things that people like. It's really, really, I don't want to say it's simple, but it's like, it's not rocket science.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make it, tell your truth, tell your story.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? We've always loved the vulnerable acts. We loved Mary when she was. That's why we loved the My Life albums of the world,
Hmm.
right? Because of the space she was in at the time. Obviously, pain, but it's being really vulnerable and just telling your truth. And I think that's the part that really connects to people. That really kind of like goes a long way, you know.
Right. Right.
But I don't know about Mrs. because again,
No.
it's a again I can't say that like I'm not an A&R guy
Right.
would be able
Right.
to say more. So right, but
Right.
as a promo guy, I mean, I look and see what records I would have loved to have worked. Now, if you want to ask me that, I
Okay.
would have loved to work like 3 6 Mafia, Stay Fly.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would
Yeah.
have loved to work that record. Ross hustling. Rick Ross hustling at the time. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Um, what else?
Were they in your reach to do them? But
Nah, they just at different labels, but
okay.
they just that was the wave. They caught that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
I would have loved to work one of them Lil John records when he was on fire. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Bia or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
because those are records where it had the club on tilt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have loved to catch one of those. You know what I mean? And be able to like put that on my back. So because again at Jive we were really R&B heavy with a sprinkle of rap.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We had Petey Pablo, Freak a Leak. We had which was a big record for
The
him.
Amigos too, didn't you?
No, that was Migos as far as that was like after. I think we had like again we had like Huey Pop Lock and Drop It was a big record.
Okay.
Put up a lot. That was a ringtone era, right? Put up a lot of ringtone stuff like that. UGK, International Players Anthem was big for us at the time. Pimp C just getting out of jail. Too Short, Blow the Whistle was a
Hmm.
big one. But but people fronted on that at the beginning. I don't want to say no names, but there was a lot of people like it funny. A lot of people at some of these outlets acting like they didn't want to rock with Short just because of the stigma of who Short was, but
Hmm.
Short was legendary. You know what I'm saying? Again, being able to have a conversation with him and E40, um, you know, E42, Short, UGK, a lot of those guys that were like signed those Jive Records deals early on.
Hmm.
You know, they were in like album number. I think Short was album number 16 at the time. I'm like, damn. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, fulfilled the album deal. Like, think
Wow.
about that. You know what I'm saying? And and that whole album was produced by like Lil Jon and Jazzy Faye. And the record was, I mean, the album was just amazing. Had a mixtape before that, so I just had some great moments. Um, but yeah, I I wouldn't change much. I wouldn't change much. Because if I'd have went somewhere else, who knows how things would have turned out. You know what I'm saying? If I still would be in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 25 in. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying?
That's
Really
dope.
2000, not 25, a little under 2003. You know
Okay.
what
Well,
I'm saying?
working up on
Mhm.
2025.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right when they did that big sweep out in Connecticut, where they kind of every city was getting hit
Hmm.
for all the niggas in the street,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was a
Oh
big
yeah.
moment, yeah, around that time, and then everyone, then it was just trickling out everywhere. It was everyone, every city was getting hit, and then it was just like the music took a hit as well, but you know
Yeah.
when I ended up you know getting that internship and cats just believe. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about me is like one thing I was super clear on too is like if you believed in me, if you believed, I just never wanted to disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I really felt like you know you really thought I had the potential, I wasn't gonna
Let
like I
you down.
refused to let you down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
Especially
a good
being like I'm coming
motivator.
all the way up here from Connecticut. I'm already like I got to go against all these guys and from New York. How am I stand out from all these other guys trying to intern and da da da? And you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
So how did you stand out
because I just was the first one in,
in the last one out?
last one to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like literally at the end of the night, I'm going down to the A&R floor, peeking my head in, trying to act like you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yo, what's that? Yo,
Yeah.
come here, let me hit. You know what I'm saying? Shout to Wayne Williams. You know what I'm saying? At the time. Um, he would always just play me records, play us records. Yo, bring some of the young kids down here. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And would because he was older. He was just like, I don't know this. I like it, but do y'all like it?
Right.
He used to always be like, he'll play a record one time and be like, Sweets, what was the name of that record?
Mm-hmm.
And if you couldn't tell what the name of the record was off one listen, he was like, ain't a hit.
Okay. Wow.
That was his.
Yeah.
That was that was his
Yeah.
theory at the time. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, nah, it ain't a hit. You gotta be able to know.
What it is.
Only off a minute and a half. Cut the record. Without even. What was the name of that record? Wait about
Yeah.
2 minutes too.
Uh-huh.
What was the name of the first record I played? Oh, you talking about birthday sex? Yeah,
Okay.
Jeremiah.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
But so it was just being able to understand that these guys was allow me into their space and chime in, and I never was extra. I was never like, yo, you need to change. I was just happy to
Okay.
be there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then it got a little further where it's like when I was able to travel, because I was one of the only interns that actually got they had gave me a corporate card as an intern. It was only like $6,000 a year. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I intern, but but again, being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, if I was out taking some DJs out, I'd buy a couple drinks, but
Mm-hmm.
I was still able to manage the 5-6 grand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When no one else had one.
Right.
None of my other peers that were interns had allowed them to have a corporate card. So I had that one little one up, you know, but then some of these guys would be like, yo, come on the road with me. I'm going to Philly to work this
Mm-hmm.
record. So then I could tag along.
Right.
Oh, we're doing, Antoine Walker's doing this
So
all
did
white
the
party
label
in
pay for
Chicago.
that when you traveled and went on the road with
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else?
for sure.
Okay.
But a lot of it, like Philly in and out, was just, by then I'm working at the time. So
Right.
I'm jumping on the train.
Okay.
But Antoine Walker's doing an all white party in Chicago. First time in Chicago. Oh wow, this is what Chicago is like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and, Antoine Walker was employee number 8 at the time.
Right.
You get me? So he was, So it was just having those experiences where it's like, again, these guys introducing me today, resources. Sweets, this is Ron. Ron just like, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
again, I just always appreciated that.
Right.
And so to this day, when these guys call, if they call, or if I see them, or if whoever I get in a situation like a platform where I could just say, thank you to those guys and females. Gloria Fitz was another one. Take me to Dallas. Introduce me to all her peoples in Dallas. You ain't got to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's dope that this business and your position has afforded you to travel to so many different major cities.
Yeah. All of them.
And smaller cities. That's dope. So what do you appreciate about each city, as a whole? Like going, from LA to
some of these cities are like Houston and Dallas are still, you can still they still have mom and pop stores that you can still pull up in and do things. Charlotte is like that too. They still got a nice store down there where you can buy vinyl. Every city is different as far as just how they, I love DC because Quicksilver is still running the city. Him and them, it's a few other guys out there, but they still have a vibe. So when you go out there, you can still see it. You know what I'm saying? Dallas is like that. Atlanta obviously is, ain't got to say much about Atlanta.
Right.
Atlanta's Atlanta.
Do they still listen to go-go music in DC?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Is it still big?
I would assume so.
Okay.
I mean,
That's like their hip hop.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But to me, like I said, so every city is just like you start to realize what music can break out of where. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can get an R&B record and know that I got to go to DC, Atlanta, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Chicago, first Charlotte.
And where do you go when
Black
you go to
cities.
those cities? Do you go to the not the labels, the radio stations?
No, I like to I like to start with just the word of mouth, the conversation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So as I'm having a conversation, I'm just like, hey, and by the way, you heard this new Honey Baby?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This Honey Baby is she's next up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And She in video, all right? You know, so it starts with the conversation, and then you start to realize, like, some people get it at the beginning. Some people trust my word for me just saying it, and then some you gotta prove it to them. Like, what I mean? They gotta build up and then become something. And they're like, oh man, I didn't see that one. I didn't hear
Right.
that one. So, you know,
Right. How do you think Envy feel losing Cardi B? I mean, we know how
envy
he feel.
or
Self, I
self.
mean.
Self doesn't. I don't. I mean, we just tease him about it, but he doesn't really. You know,
It doesn't you don't think he
because
really care
nah, it's
about
not
it like
about
that?
because you can't call that stuff. And to your point, it's like, what was he supposed to do? We can say now, well, yeah, you should have managed the girl, or you should have did all that. Or maybe he just felt like, yo, dogs, I don't want to manage nobody per se. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I thought it was between her and Mariah Lynn. Well, as far as the TV show,
Yeah, I don't
you
see
know
the
that
TV. See,
she's
TV, yeah,
fighting.
TV is TV.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
different. Yeah,
saying. That's why I said as
that's
far as the
different. Yeah,
TV shows. But
that's
when
it.
she turned around and said, "If you have beef with me, it's gonna be forever,"
It's
we
classic.
like, okay, she's
It's classic.
somebody. She's something different.
Classic. It's
So
classic.
based on that,
It's classic.
I would have said, you know what? Let me see what she's gonna. Let me see what she might do.
Yeah,
Because she literally was begging him to give her a spot in the music industry in front of all of us, and
but
Love and
I
Hip
always
Hop.
looked at the love and hip hop like as it kind of like just being a narrative that we just agreed to go on. All right, sweet. So when I walk in here, it's gonna be like this,
Okay,
and we
okay,
play out that narrative. Now I don't know if that's real or not, but that's just how I always looked at it
right,
because I would see so many people in it and be like, you know what I'm saying? So
right,
now some things kind of go a little overboard, but I guess as you become a pro at it, it starts to become
right,
natural for you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But I don't think self ain't missing no meals.
No, I don't think he's missing meals, but I think he wanted to sit at that table.
I mean, listen, again, who knew?
I
You
know,
know what I'm saying? Like, who knew?
and she's
At
on
that
fire.
at that time in 2016, 2015, you know what I'm saying? You knew enough to say you. What we didn't know is Love and Hip Hop was had what, let's say 10, 12 million viewers a week on TV. So if you got on that TV, you got more eyes on you that you can go around and do a promo run. Sweets
Okay,
is doing hostings now,
right,
just from you being on there and
true,
you running you running the circuit. You know what
right,
I'm saying? You could do 25 dates a year of just hostings for like 2,500 a piece,
right,
$5,000 all in.
right,
So who's to say like from there? Like again, once I realized that the person that like went with the phone and Instagram that like personality wins over the music,
mm-hmm,
I didn't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? But once I saw that, I was like, oh man,
yeah,
it's different now.
yeah.
It's different.
And even when you were talking about like vulnerability and music, I think Cardi, she did that. Like she said in one of her songs, got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope you hoes know this ain't cheap. That was real talk because her grill was chewed up. But I said, okay, I'm feeling her. You know what I'm saying? There was certain
Yeah.
things that she was saying in her music, where she was exposing herself and letting y'all know, like, I knew my grill was messed up. Like I got a
Yeah.
bag and fixed my
Yeah.
teeth.
But I will say that what doesn't get talked about enough is I never forget we did an event in the Bronx. Me and shout out to Sam Crespo. He set this up with Hot 97, and I think originally we were supposed to do A Boogie, and I think A Boogie and those guys were out of town. They had something going on, so last minute we had the audible, and they're like, "Well, who can we bring?" Well, we said, "Well, Cardi's from the Bronx. How about we bring Cardi?" So this is obviously prior to Bodak wasn't even out yet,
Hmm.
and we go to the Bronx, and it was like they were renaming. Um, I dare say, I think they were either renaming Cool Herc, like that block
Oh yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
61
yeah,
and Cedric.
yeah.
They were renaming Cool Herc, and we were down in the basement where they would throw the parties
Okay.
downstairs. So they had,
Hmm.
it's a little small. Probably the room was like no, a little bigger than this, but it was like this is where hip hop was. This is where these records would really like connect in this room right here.
Right.
But anyway, so we bring Cardi there, and the kids are going crazy. And I mean, we were there for about 2 hours, and people were still waiting outside when she leaves. And as she's walking out, must have been about 300 people, people with their kids and everything. And I watched this girl sit and take a picture with every person out there with the baby on the phone. You know, manager like, come on, we gotta go. She's like, chill. Come on. You ready? Come on. And I'm just sitting again, just watching. I was just like, wow, because I have never really seen that
Right.
before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody got to look.
Yeah.
And so when we were leaving, she's getting in the car. She rolls down the window, and Sam used to he used to always mess with me about it because at the time she was like, "Hold my purse." So I'm over there. So Chris will always clown me to this day. Be like, "Yeah, Ron, remember when Cardi you holding her purse?" I was like, "Yo," but I never forget I asked that day. I was just like, "You know, we could have left earlier, right? We didn't have to." She was like, "Nah, because this picture's gonna go a long way. They're gonna take this picture down, go back, show their friends, whoever they with, or their closest friends, or whoever their cousins, and they're gonna be like, yo, I got a picture with Cardi, and and the word's gonna spread." And so she was super clear then. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the part where, and it wasn't by accident because she did the same thing, and I think it might have been the Dominican Day something going on in Brooklyn, something like that, and I heard she did the same thing again out there with more people. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying all of that to say it's those kind of things that are expected, right? That the fans want you to do, but most artists don't.
Don't do, right.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
true.
So to see her get all of these accomplishments now, it's not, shit wasn't by accident.
Right.
The work was put in, and
Yeah.
and she really wanted this shit. And so that's why for me to go to the show last week, it was just a great experience to really see her really just finally headline her own tour, do that first album, which was a classic. You know, Bodak Yellow's is Diamond, and to really see her go through them records and you know,
Right.
and do
I
it
heard her
way.
show out here was good too. I didn't get to go to her
Show's
show,
amazing. Show
but
was
I
amazing.
seen you went to the one here in Connecticut.
No, I went to the one at the Garden.
Okay. I seen Big Mike made a post, and he was just saying that she was worth every penny of it.
100%.
You know, that she put on the show,
100%.
from the outfits to the choreographers to the to everything. And I'm assuming that she probably was the same with the pictures. You know, at the same, that same vibe. Because even at her release party we went to, she was dope, and she was pregnant then.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right.
She was pregnant.
That's right.
She didn't have a problem taking a picture,
all.
taking pictures,
At all.
even talking, and and she's exactly who you see her to be. That's the dope thing about it too, is like, I forgot what she said or what she did, but it wasn't no different. She didn't switch up her, she didn't switch up. She didn't have a different voice or a star voice or a voice for the people. She was like, all right, come on, hurry up. Like with the picture. Come on, because we walking, hurry up.
Nah, yeah, this shit is real, man.
Shit, I'm tired. She said something like that, whatever it was. It was dope. So for the one dreamer that's watching right now, that hung in there through this interview, because it was dope, through this conversation. It was dope. That feels like they're overlooked, or feeling discouraged or maybe underestimated. What would you say to them? What would you say to that person that's feeling down, and not worthy, or, you know what I'm saying? Or underestimated. I'm talking on a professional level with their music. What would you say to that artist or that executive or that marketing person or promoter? The person in the music business, that feels underestimated or undervalued.
I think you touched on it earlier. You can't be afraid to fail. And I think that is so real because I say that to people I work with today. Like, what I'm saying? We always, we work and we try to get it right. But, shout to the people that I came up under. It was just like, yo, like, figure it out. Like, it was like, yo, Ron, get your feelings out this.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Like, nobody cares.
Right.
Like, get your feelings out of it. Like, somebody did something for a while. Okay, cool. Next.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, but they did. Oh, they. Okay. Now what? Get your feelings out of it and figure it out. Somebody comes out with an album or a rollout. It's like, yo, like, could you imagine being in the marketing meeting when they was like, yo, how about we bring Oprah to Marcy? Like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we gonna sit on the stoop and have an interview. Like, who? You get what I'm saying?
It
But that's
really did it.
but I'm just
Right.
saying, like, that was the challenge though. Like,
Yeah.
you got challenged to figure it out, sweets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta like what's the idea? Like, how can we do? What are we trying to do? You like, yo, I'm gonna do a parade down here, and you know what? You made it happen. I'm gonna try to do this over here. I'm gonna do this joint at the mansion, and you made it happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, so you figure that out. If someone gives you the way, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna be like, okay, well, how can I get this? Well, I gotta get I need to have my own real estate license. Okay, well,
Right.
it makes it easier for me to get a spot. Well, let me get my license then, and you went and did it.
Right.
And I know that drive is hard to replicate, but it's the realest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Once you get your feelings out of it, once you face your fears, you know what I'm saying? Hardest thing to do. Took me a while to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But once you face your fears, it's like a world of things and opportunities just open up. You just be like, wow, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then just move around. Like, you gotta go travel. You gotta go see people. I don't care if your aunt lives in Cincinnati. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Just go out there for a weekend consistently. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's your routine? How about that?
Right.
What's your routine? You know what I'm saying? What do you do consistently? Like, what is that thing? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Again, because that's the discipline part. You know what I'm saying? That's why like, you know, I want a six pack. Do I really want a six pack?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Am I gonna put the work in?
Am I gonna put in that work in? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So and those are just like, you know, being a leader is man, when you start reading books on what millionaires or billionaires do and what their work ethic entails and it's the routine. You know what I'm saying? I get up at 5 a.m. every
Mm-hmm.
morning. You know what I'm saying? All right, I can't get up at 5. I'm getting up at 6 though. I could do 6. And my wife be like, "Nick, it's 7. You ain't up yet." But you get what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's figuring out what that rhythm is that you can consistently do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're disciplined, everything else seems to fall into place, in my opinion.
Okay.
That discipline is
That's very hard. I mean, it seems easy. It's easy to say, but to be consistent.
listen. And the only example I could really say is from the road it took for me in my career. It was like again, I'm disciplined in the things that I really want to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, for music, it was just like short term goal. Okay, boom. I want to be intern. Okay, boom. Short term goal. Okay, after that, I want to be an assistant. Okay, short term goal after that. Okay, I really want to run a rap department. Okay, short term goal after that. Well, I'd love to be a regional. Oh no, I want to run a street team. Okay, short term goal after that. Oh, okay, street team is cool, but now how do I get? How do I run a department? Okay, got a chance to do that. Okay, now I want to be able to be a regional. Okay, I want to be able to live in another market. Okay, I did that. Okay, now I want to be a VP. So everything was short term goals
Right.
to then get to the senior VP status.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you?
Absolutely.
Knocking on wood, praying every day. Shout out to Renee. Used to be at the barbershop right here.
Oh yeah.
Rick
Renee.
Yeah, Rick Renee. She would always tell me
Rest
back
her
then, and Stu, you praying? I said, well, Renee, what you of course I pray. What do you say? And I said, you know what I mean? Stu, it's not going to happen for you. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. This is what you do. get on that train every morning. As you walk into that train, you know, you say these three scriptures, and you know, and God will take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Three scriptures. You know what I'm saying? All that ways, acknowledging me, you direct your path. Faith is of the things hoped for, evidence things not seen. Call those things which are not as though they were. Boom.
All
So that'll be
right.
that. You know what I'm saying? So that was the every morning.
That's
I'll do
dope.
that. You know what I'm saying? So that
Oh
was
man,
Renee.
that rocked me a little bit. That's
Yeah.
dope, man. Cause Renee was dope. You
Yeah.
know, that's I
Yep.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
That
fire
was
that
it.
she said that.
Yeah.
That's
And I'll
fire
just
that
do it
she
for me.
said
Just for
that.
me. Didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Write it down. Because, you know, I don't want you to write it in your phone.
Uh
So you
huh.
can just see it. Okay. All right. Because I would send all, you know, I would email them CDs to the
Yeah.
beauty salon and be like, yo, y'all rock this, or here, this for y'all. Yeah, you know,
Right.
y'all need Christmas, you know, stocking stuff, whatever. Here, that's just.
Mhm.
But yeah, she had, you know, beat me in the head with that early on, and it, you know, it worked.
Yeah.
I think it worked. So,
Absolutely.
but again,
Absolutely.
discipline, having a little, you know, you gotta have some faith, you know, but reality is just have a little luck.
Yeah.
Let's not get that. Gotta be lucky.
In the time.
Gotta be lucky. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm super aware of that. I'm super understanding to that because so many people, you know, looked out for me. So many people opened their doors for me and helped, and you know, gave me a great experience of just going to a club with, you know, me. We're Snap. We going to the city and we hanging out, and
Mhm.
there was just so many of those moments where it's just like, oh wow, this is what it's like. Damn, Fubu buying out the bar. Everybody gets a bottle of Cristal. Wow, this is a thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this.
Right. Having those
You know what I'm saying?
experiences to
Like, you
see
know,
it
Damon
firsthand.
John, like, wow, now he's a Shark Tank. I remember this guy's passing me bottles of Cristal. Like, here, you having a good time? You good? Here. Like, you
Right.
know, so, you know, but it's those things to just be like, man, like, so to still be going now, it's just like, what can I do to really, I don't want to say try to get it back to where it was, but, you know, how do I like reinvent it, for lack
Okay.
of better words? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
How do I reinvent
Okay.
what promotion and what that is current day, which is my challenge right now, working at Warner, because you know, we got some amazing acts. You know, we got Honey Baby, we got MC Vert, we got AZ Chak, Alex Isley. Oh, my latest dropped this album last week, Afrobeat, killing that. Isaiah Rashad's about to drop. We got Sid from the internet. You know, we got Baby Kobe just dropped the record. LG Malik, super talented. We just got so many up and coming artists that's just right there, ready to turn this corner and just, you know, ride off into the sunset. So I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Great leadership team. Couldn't be more proud of the you know, my current um, bosses, executives that allowed me to, you know, give my opinion um, and trust me in understanding what the you know, what the lifestyle dictates and expects from us
Okay.
as a company
Mhm.
and as a department. You know, I've been blessed to work with amazing marketing women in my career. You know, from you know, Falana to Claudine and Marsha and Sherry Bryant to now, you know, Shawnee and you know, Jamila, and oh my God, it's just that's the key because, like I said, the marketing has always been the heartbeat. But just to see like those days when we'll collab and we'll just go out for have a glass of wine, but we just talk about how we're gonna promote this artist. Like those are the things that the artists don't see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the
Right.
things people are like, oh man, like yo, like this is how this works. Yes, this is how this works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rihanna, you know, with Nipsey, and just like it was just you know, it's just a blessing. But when you kind of like form like Voltron and we get it together and we rolling it out
Mhm.
and to see that end result where you could be like album release and you know you can invite your guests and it's clean, they clean at the door.
Right.
You know, they clean, like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, my people say, yo, they good. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it don't get no better than
That's
that. You know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying? So I'm just
That's
happy
what's
to
up.
still be doing it for the city. I mean, listen, long way from Lincoln Avenue.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. BK, what you got? You got anything else?
What do I got? What do I got?
You don't have to make nothing
No,
up.
I
If
got
you have,
one. I
I
do
know
have
you
one
got some.
actually.
Okay.
So you're talking about how long you've been kind of in the industry. What's something that's kind of like a fun thing that you could bring up to an artist now and they would have no idea what it is?
What's a fun thing?
Well, just like the idea of the question is kind of funny to me. Like we've had artists in here and a producer brings in a floppy disk and the artist has no idea what that is.
Right.
So like what's something you could pull up from the marketing days or from the intern days or whatever?
I mean, listen, I could say, but you got them outside. I would say like vinyl, but vinyl's making a comeback now, so it's like that ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Uh,
I'm trying to think myself.
what
What
could
would be
I
something
bring?
funny?
Probably like a MP3 recorder, because those were like real quick. And I think my man CL from DigiX had one back then that he was promoting at the time. It would literally just play the MP3s, I believe. But those were like, you wouldn't know what that is.
Right. It's so crazy
You wouldn't
because
know what that
Patrick just texted me one, and I said, "What?" I said, "I've been." No, I said on my phone, we made a lot of heat with them joints. You know what you trying to get one or
Yeah.
something like? Why did he send me an MPC? Maybe
Yeah.
they're coming back.
No, the MP3. Remember the encoding, not the MPC.
Oh, I thought you said the
MP3,
MPC.
MP3. It was like a recorder where this is when it went from like the CD to like
Oh, the
and during the
MP3
nap,
players.
they would just play the MP3. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Well, even when you said ringtones before,
Yeah.
like
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
something now that was a market for a lot of people to make a lot of money.
Oh, the ringtone was insane.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
Cats was getting
Now
joint ventures.
everybody's on vibrate. Or even just the ringback tones too, when you call and you play something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah.
This has been dope. This is a classic. I appreciate this. I appreciate you for what I appreciate really is that you represent Norwalk because a lot of people leave their hometowns and they don't say where they come from. You do. Your backdrop is still the hill, that painting. I remember when it was a question, I went right to your page and got it. It was some kind of, talk going on about it. I said, I know who has that. Remember, BK?
Yeah.
I went right to your page and got it. That's the hill.
Yeah.
You never lost touch with home. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you for giving inspiration for the next generation, of people that you make it possible. You make it believable. And just having that Norwalk, Connecticut inside those rooms when they hear Norwalk, Connecticut, they like, oh, wait a minute, I know a guy. And they really do know a guy. And I don't care. You could go to all the states.
That's right.
You say Norwalk, Connecticut, they like, wait a minute. Yo, I think this Ron Stew, Ron Stew? And even whether they know him or not, the fact that they know that your hometown is from Norwalk,
That's right. Yeah.
we appreciate that. Give me some. Give me a little bit.
No red lights.
No red lights. So thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before we close out?
Nah, I mean, listen. Right now for me, it's Warner Records. It's the new regime. And it's really just all about Honey Baby. It's all about Afro beats with Omale. West Coasting with Az Chike and Isaiah Rashad and Alex Isley and like I said, Baby Kobe. We got some good music from that. LG Malik. You know what I'm saying? We just got a lot of good artists. MC Vert just killing. He just produced a record with Lil Uzi, so he got that Jersey Club vibe going. So for me, it's just just pay attention. I still got a lot more to do. So a lot more things I'm interested in outside of just real estate and just musically. Just a lot more for me to do. I think I don't think I'm done yet.
Absolutely
I just
not.
think I just needed some time to really be able to focus on family and really kind of get my mind right. And we ain't even talk about AI. AI is coming and changing the game. So it's really being able to embrace that
Right.
and use it as a tool as much as we can, whether it's more so creatively. But yeah, and again, not being afraid to fail. I mean, I'm at that space now where it's just like I don't try to act like I know everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning every day. I'm still learning from the kids. I'm still learning from um, from the artists.
Right.
Still learning from technology, and I'm just applying all of that to my day to day. Trying to keep up with my son running behind him, make sure these knees don't buckle.
Cairo. Bless him. He's so cute. That little tight haircut he got too. I love it. I love him.
Love.
Speaking about technology, you're the person to put me on the chat GPT. I think me and BK.
Yeah.
Remember?
That's right. That's right.
At the dinner table,
yeah.
we went to a release party. Was it Chingy's?
No,
Or-
it wasn't. It was the girl.
Chica.
Chica. Yeah, Chica.
Yeah.
You was like, nah, pull out your phone. Look, it's this thing. You could just tell it what to do and it'll do it. Like,
That's right.
And you said, make a contract right now for me and Sweets and da. And it spat out the contract. We
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't even know about Chat GPT had it not been for you, Skull Daddy.
That's right, yeah. And the kid that put me on was like a year or two before that, and I was just like, "What is he talking about?" He did the same exact experiment, and I was just like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Wow!" I was like, I was mind blown. Now I go crazy with it. Now I'm doing
Yeah.
everything with that.
Yep.
you know,
BK
so.
be having conversations. He told
What do
me.
you use
did you know-
ChatGPT? What do you use?
ChatGPT, yeah.
You haven't used Claude yet, or Gemini? I use
No.
Yeah, you gotta experiment.
Okay.
Download that Gemini or that Claude.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I've
saying?
used the little Gemini. I haven't used Claude yet, but I've
Yeah.
heard a lot about it.
I want to get to chat the way you're on it. Like having a conversation
Yeah.
and going back
So,
and
like,
forth.
If I'm driving, I'll press play and just ask it a question, let it converse back and forth.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
a good move.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Work through something. I was like, I need you to poke holes in this plan I got.
Yeah,
Just like
I'll do
change
that.
everything
That
I
I'll
had.
do. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I try not to do it like, because sometimes I'll push it to the limit. I'll just be like, what kind of answer was this? Like, this
Right.
ain't, like, you could do better than that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't just take the first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I'm saying?
Because it's built to agree with you. Like it wants to agree
Yeah.
with you most of the time. So you got to push it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand what I'm talking about? Like, do you know where I'm trying to go with this? Yeah.
Right. Do we have anything else online that I may have overlooked?
Over on iTunes, we got Mike Mass saying what up. We got
Hey, Mike Mass.
Mike Mass, what's up?
saying love your work.
Okay. Shout out to Frequency
Yeah.
Live.
That's about it.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's it for us.
Good. I
Once
appreciate the
again,
time. I mean,
yeah.
it's all family. This is love, but it's a conversation that was overdue. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Let's run these algorithms up.
Okay, now let's do it. Listen, thanks, guys. Until the next one, platform, the podcast, Sweets and Ron Stew, we out.
We out. Peace, y'all.
All right. Peace.